All right, welcome to my live stream. I'm Joshua Kemble. I'm an art director. I've been doing that for about 8 years. I've been a graphic designer and illustrator for over 20, which, as my friend who's going to be hanging out and working on comics at the same time who's on here, will attest to. It's kind of weird when you get to that point in your career where you're like, 20 years. Holy crap.
I might be able to say 30 by now.
Yeah, that's true. You probably got me by about a decade. So it's funny that we're starting to get to an age where we can compare decades of time in the industry.
I don't even say it anymore. Like I think the last time I was applying for, which was a long time ago, but the last time I was applying for like an actual like staff position.
Yeah.
I think I took so much stuff off my resume and just made it look like, like I hadn't been doing it as long as I could. Because once you get to a certain point, it's just like all that experience. Sometimes it just makes you look older, and they don't, so it's weird.
Nice. We got Sideburns saying hi, Josh. Hi, Scott. Or well, actually, to be technical, he said hi, Cirque. Cirque 22 for life.
Yeah.
That is a really funny point. I guess before that, I'm going to keep that noted because that would be a fun topic to talk about a little bit. But so if you guys are curious to kind of check out either of our work, Scott, obviously, check him out at CirqueWorks. Also, Scott Cirkland on YouTube. He's going to be relaunching his YouTube pretty soon. And then for myself, you can make sure you subscribe, make sure you hit the bell, get notifications because you're on my YouTube channel. And if you want, pick up 2 Stories or Jacob's Apartment, my 2 graphic novels, at your convenience at bookstores everywhere online. I think, and by the way, so just in full transparency, so usually on this show, I'll work on my comics and stuff like that. And a lot of the time there's like off-screen work that I just don't do. But I don't stream as I'm doing it. Like right now I'm doing some really boring layout stuff. It just doesn't make sense to stream. But I was realizing it would be fun, especially if I have a guest like Scott on to kind of go ahead and stream while doing that. So anyhow, if you guys want to support Scott too, you should check out Young and the Dead. I don't know, Scott, if you want to mention Young and the Dead and yeah.
Yeah, so Young and the Dead is my kids versus zombie adventure comic. It's basically like Goonies meets Night of the Living Dead. So if you're a fan of all those old classic 80s movies where kids were the heroes, Goonies, Monster Squad, Explorer, Stand By Me, and then, more recently Stranger Things, or even to go a few years back from that, Super 8. If you like those type of movies, then imagine that, but with zombies. So that's what Young and the Dead's all about. And that you can find that at my website. There's 5 issues available, and I'm working on the 6th and final issue. So
I love it. That's awesome. So you were on Gary's stream also this morning, and Jim and I were being jackasses in the chat. I don't know what it is about me and Jim. He was joking that we're like the J. What was he calling us? J Crew. But anyhow, it is funny because I think because Jim and I have very similar humor sensibilities. It's like you put us in a room and we get bad. Yeah, it was a really fun stream to watch, and it was kind of interesting, and it made me excited too, just to hear from Gary the little bit that I could catch. As you know, because you have kids and stuff. It's like Ben, a bunch of his friends were over, and I was like, yeah, I'm not going to be able to hop in because that would not be a fun stream for people to watch. You'd hear me say half a word, and then you'd have a bunch of 10-year-olds running around shooting each other with fake guns and stuff. We got Roll for Tarraco, which I strangely suspect might be Frank Salazar. I don't know if you do suspect that Roll for Tarraco.
I suspect that. I mean, the logo, unless it's just a super fan of the Tarraco Creative Cast. So
yeah. But Frank Salazar of Tarraco Creative Cast and is in the chats, and he said, "Hello, Joshua Kemble and Sideburns." By the way, Frank, if you want to hop in too, let me know. I'll send you a link, man. We're just kind of hanging out, working on art. So what are you working on right now? You showed a little bit of that on the stream before. It's corporate like a corporate comic kind of thing.
Yeah. Hold on a second. Let me merge these layers. Where is the function? Merge selected layers. Okay. Yeah. So I'm working on. I can share some super exciting stuff. Oh, hold on. You ever do something where you move like one layer and it throws everything off? Hold on. Edit, undo. We got
Oh
hold on.
no, I just
I
saw
got
in the.
technical difficulty. Hold on. What? Just okay. There we go. Okay. Hold on. Give me 1 minute here.
While you're
All
doing
right.
that,
Okay.
I just saw that Gary Hodges shared with us that he's going in the shower. Gary, there's appropriate times to talk about that or not. No, but he just said he's going to come on possibly after the shower. And then I'm
Oh,
sending a
cool.
link out to Frank, our buddy Frank, real quick.
Cool.
Yeah,
I'll
okay.
share my
So
Cintiq here. So yeah. So this is it's kind of I've been doing a lot of corporate style comics lately, in addition to my own comic, just because the pay wise it's a lot better than like a Marvel or DC, um, and I need to keep the lights on here in the underground layer. So this is I'm doing a lot of cyber security theme stuff. So right now what we're doing is we're taking certain people that have contributed in some magnitude to the cybersecurity industry and featuring them as heroes. Because everything we do kind of for these projects has to do with like heroes, like cyber heroes, people that are you know.
sorry, I was trying to full screen it so people could see, and then
Oh yeah,
how do
I don't know
I?
how you do that.
Let, yeah, no. Oh, here, I think I go to yours and do solo. There we go.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
So we're picking somebody that's made significant contributions to the cybersecurity space, that instrumental in developing some software or whatever to help people kind of stay secure out there in cyberspace, and we're kind of
Yeah.
featuring them, and we kind of show them as a hero and tell their origin story. So these are we're doing this series where it's a little 2-page comic that I'm going to ink the cover there. It's
Awesome.
2 pages and like a cover image.
Those look so good too. Can you zoom in
Thanks.
on that
Yeah.
second panel, dude?
This
You
one
were
here?
showing that, yeah, you were showing that on Gary's, and I was
Oh
like,
yeah.
what the
So
hell,
so
Scott?
that's yeah. So this guy grew up in Dubai, but this is back before the massive explosion, over in Dubai as far as growth and everything like that. So it's before all the crazy skyscrapers and stuff. But so I had to do a little research and see what it looked like circa 1980 something.
Nice.
So I just recreated that. And the good thing about, like, if you work in Clip Studio,
Yeah.
those I mean, the perspective tools, I mean, it is just such a lifesaver when you're doing stuff like this. It's got
Oh
these fancy
yeah.
perspective tools. So
Whenever I've seen that perspective tool thing, I'm like, I gotta change up my game and learn Crip Studio, which is, I just was meaning to say Clip Studio, but I realized
Clip Studio.
that would be the gangster version of Clip Studio. It's like you got rival graphic designers. It's like, yeah, they're doing like what is it, the Crip Walk or whatever, whilst working on comics.
Yeah. So
That's
I
cool.
mean, yeah, they're just kind of like 2-page comics, and we start off with we do a couple panels with people who have an issue like this. It's most of this is about like passwords and how much of a pain in the ass they are and everything.
Yeah.
You got to remember all these passwords. So the company we're doing it for deals in like passwordless authentication, like biometrics and things like that,
Oh, cool.
because we need to get to a point where it's just getting out of hand with all these passwords we're supposed to remember, even with the password manager. I mean, it's just like, and
Yeah.
there's more services popping up here every day. I mean,
Yeah.
it's crazy. I mean, how is we supposed to take care of? So hopefully we get to a point someday where we don't have to worry about any of that, and we're still safe and everything. So we kind of present the problem, and then we introduce our hero, and then we kind of show a resolution, so that's
right.
what we're kind of doing here.
We're
Hey,
being
Frank.
joined by a very handsome artist named Frank Salazar.
Yeah, the glasses look great on you, Frank.
Frank, those
Thanks.
glasses do look stunning, man. You look like just
Look like a new
a
man.
handsome gentleman. Yeah.
Thank you.
Nice. So yeah, that is kind of amazing, Scott. Like the thing that always kind of weirds me out about comics and stuff like that is is that so many cartoonists, like are vying to like work on these big properties and stuff for like little to no pay.
Right.
And you could take a gig like that, like a corporate gig, and get like as much as you'd get for, you might do like 4 pages and get as much as you get for like a full issue of, if not even more.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is, a lot of those guys that I've met that work on those mainstream things, they're like looking for that window of time to like work on their own stuff. And it's like, well, there you go. That's take a couple corporate comics, and then you've got like way more, because your time is money, and like, and also your art is valuable.
Sometimes it's not as easy as just taking them. We kind of had to create this opportunity. So we're creating a company where we actually go to companies and you say, the way you're trying to get your information across would be much better visually and more fun, especially in industries like this. And when we feature one of these people, I mean, they're like the last guy we just did an interview to feature. He was just so excited. And like, because a lot of these people, they're it's very serious work. It's very, and it's very, it's just, there's not a whole lot of fun to it. So we're trying to add some fun to that. And when we get to feature these people, I mean, they're excited. So it's kind of cool, but this could be replicated in almost any industry, any way you want to educate somebody on a particular topic or get somebody's point across. Pitch some of these companies that you could create a comic book, or any kind of, you can either do it as a web thing or whatever. And it's just, and as popular as comics are, as far as the movies and everything like that, it's not too hard of a sell, So, but yeah, I mean, sometimes you do. I mean, there's not like job postings out there of like, oh, can you create a comic for
no, yeah. Yeah, you're right. It's not like businesses are like running around being like, oh, we need a comic book. But like, I love what you're describing, which is kind of like, maybe they do need a comic book. You know what I mean? Like, it's not a bad way to kind of approach things and stuff.
And
but
it's not
great, Scott. Like,
obviously it's not as glamorous. We're trying to have fun with it and make it cool. It's not as glamorous as a Marvel or DC, but my thing is, you can do this stuff, pay the bills, but because why kind of give away your stuff to, I mean, look at Jack Kirby and how he was treated and everything. I mean, do your own comic, do your own cool thing. But so my goal is just, I'm going to focus on Young and the Dead. That's my thing. That's where I get to do all my own ideas and stuff. But this kind of stuff will allow me to is like spend the time on Young and the Dead.
Yeah, it's like that theory that you hear from like actors, where they'll do like the art film and then they'll do the giant blockbuster and then the art film. It's like, and they're doing the blockbuster so they can do more of those like art films. It's like that's not a bad method, and that's not to knock anybody. Like, of course, like, if you can draw Batman, you're going to sell a lot more of your own stuff if you've got like a bunch of Batman issues on your resume or whatever, How you doing, Frank?
Good. You just reminded me. I left my sketchbook where I do Batman on my friend's car who just left. It's like, dang it!
Oh no! Like on it, like on the top of it?
No, in the car.
Oh, okay. Well, that's good. At least it's in the car, so it's not lost forever. I thought you said on the car. By the way, we've got another handsome artist joining us. You guys, this is a handsome artist.
Oh wow! Look at this.
All these handsome artists.
Before I add this handsome artist, I just want to prepare people because, like, there's only so much handsome a person can take.
You might have overload.
Yeah, you might have to avert your eyes when we are joined by this handsome artist, the Run C Man. What's up? How's it going, Christopher Runciman?
I'm averting my eyes, waiting for that handsome artist to show up.
Oh, no. You are the handsome artist. How's it going, Chris?
Hey, guys.
So, Chris,
what time zone are you in, Christopher?
Good to see you three. And
what time zone are you in, Christopher?
How's everybody's day been?
I think Christopher is an hour ahead of me, so 12:37 p.m.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
So
we got a lot of night owls. And then, Scott, where is it at for you? It's an hour later, right?
I'm the same as you right now, Josh.
Oh, we're the same. I love it.
Oh.
Yeah, we
love
don't do
it.
daylight savings, so
We're the same, you and me.
Yeah, we're not so different, you and I,
You're
Mr.
not so-
Powers.
We have many things in common.
Mm.
I think I think that time differences are fascinating and kind of weird. But did you guys watch my deep dive? I don't know if you guys caught that. I did a deep dive on stream when it, like one of the first commentary videos I did was on a daylight savings day where I was like, how did it really start? Like, because I've heard a million things my whole life. I had been told by people that it was like some sort of economic thing where it's like, oh, we're going to do this for the farmers or whatever so that they can have better hours with crops and stuff like
That's
that.
what I've heard.
And
yeah.
and then we dug into it on stream, and it was like it turns out it's like this weird like gentryman, like, or I don't know if gentryman's the right term, like a British like snob, like a rich dude, who basically like his hobby was collecting bugs, and he wanted more time when he got home to collect bugs. And I was realizing like our whole like there was a point in time where our whole society got moved this way because one guy advocated for it, had a lot of money, and was like, I need more time to add a new butterfly to my butterfly collection. And they were like, well, that's a fair point, sir. We'll look into it. And then the rest of the world just kind of adopted. And then it turns out they kind of kept with it after that because of gas prices, because I guess it was like gasoline, not gas, like, but or oil or something for lamps. But then electricity, they use that as an excuse to keep it. But then it's gotten to the point where like nobody like there's no like season where you're not using electricity in the United States. So anyhow, my point being, I went down a deep dive and I came out more anti daylight savings than I ever have been in my life.
It's kind of like lobbyists in a way, you know. They just, we want it this way, so we're just going to throw a bunch of money at something, and then everyone else has to deal with it.
Yeah,
that's exactly it.
But I just thought it was funny that it all originated from a bug, like a dude who wanted to collect bugs.
It's full circle.
The guys in that room, though, they'd all be saying, "Why are we doing this again? Johnson in his bug situation. Oh, very good, very good."
It's like, pip, old chap, that's a fair point. I can't remember where. I don't know if it was England, though. I know it was like European, but I can't remember if it was England.
Probably.
Yeah. But it's fun to imagine it was like some snobby British folks who are like wearing pith helmets.
Why? Why would they have pith helmets on?
Because they're gonna expand their empire all over the world, whilst exploring the great things for the Queen. You see. Anyhow,
that's awesome.
Yes. If you're British and you collect bugs and you like daylight savings for that reason, I really deeply apologize if you guys are watching that. I want to apologize. So, Christopher, how's it going, buddy? And what's your latest one page that you're working on?
I'm finishing it right now.
Nice.
Hold on, I can pop it up for you if you want.
Cool. I saw the boy band one. I like that one.
Oh my goodness. Okay, we got to full screen this. Let me put that up.
This is the Gnome Genome.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes, you did it. Oh, that's great.
That's great.
I love it.
Finish the whites, and then put the text in it.
Oh, that's amazing. I love it. I just love the riff on the word gnome. We got Paul in the chats. How's it going, Paul Pate?
Paul Pate.
Paul.
That's right. I should send Paul a link. I don't want to like overload people with sending links, but you know what? It's a party. You're invited. Let me send Paul a link as well.
It's a handsome party.
I do think for Paul it's like ridiculous hours right now, though. I can't.
He's ridiculously handsome.
Paul's the same as me.
He's Canadian?
No, he's in Michigan. He's just over the water from me.
Oh, okay.
You want to hear a great story about Michigan and Canada?
Sure.
Yeah, I do. I want to hear every great story. In fact, I challenge you, give us every great story about Michigan and Canada.
Many a year ago,
Yes.
there was quite a bit of a kerfuffle between the Canadians and the Americans, what? But we settled it manly style. There was this in the war between Canada and the States, or between the British Empire and the States, more correctly, right?
I was like, I don't remember
So
that
there
one.
was a garrison of settlers, right? And they were working in conjunction with a tribe, right? An Aboriginal tribe here. And so this tribe of Indians and this very limited amount of settlers.
You know what's funny? Sorry, this is like the left leaning American. I was about to correct you and say you mean Native Americans when you're talking about Canadians.
Well, it's still North America. So it's, yeah.
Anyhow, sorry.
Around here,
I just caught
around
myself
here,
doing that whole. I have friends who live in England and they've talked and they're black and they've talked to like people in the U.S. who've been like, wait, no, you call them African Americans. And it's like, no, I'm talking about British people, not like. Anyhow, sorry. Okay, continue.
So this very limited amount of guys. It's like 30 natives on horseback, and then there's a bunch of colonial settlers, maybe 100, right? Or I think the total count was like a few thousand people, anyways. And the soldiers that were in Detroit were something like 5,000 guys. Like, it was this huge number, and all of these rumors had been started that you don't want to be captured by the settlers and the natives. You just don't, because they're insane and they might be cannibals. And so what the colonialists did and the natives did is that the natives would ride around the colonial guys as they're moving forward. The natives were just riding around them basically in a big circle, so that the Americans thought that there was a lot more of them, and they just gave up. And
That's awesome.
That's the taking of Detroit.
Okay.
They just gave up. They're like, oh, there's a lot of them. I'm out.
They're like, this is a lot of circling around. I'm a little nervous.
But it's one of those stories. It's one of those stories where it's like it gets passed down and becomes more and more grand. But that's the basic gist of it. The numbers are all probably wrong. It's like this weird thing that Canadians do when they talk about the war between, Upper Canada, which is what Canada was called then, and the American colonies, right? And they're always like, yeah, we burnt down their White House. No, we didn't.
You know what's weird? Yeah, I was going to say, like, this is so sad to say, and maybe this makes me sound terrible, but I know nothing about anything about Canadian history in regards to the U.S., and I never was taught anything. So it's like, that's how much we know, like, about Canada, at least from my perspective. It's like, I don't know anything about it. So it's interesting. But I guess if you're in a region like that's kind of like in the Midwest where you're closer to Canada, then maybe that would be more part of like the state history there or something,
In the War of 1812, the British garrisons and the colonial settlers that came over from Upper Canada, or what is Ontario now, they burnt down the White House. They pushed so far in to the District of Columbia, they set the White House on fire and burnt it to the ground. So
I knew that happened at one
the
point.
White House that you have now.
That's crazy.
That's why it's white, because they painted.
Sorry, what?
That's why it's white, because they were painting over the burn marks.
No. It was mostly like a log cabin type thing. It wasn't anywhere near as regal as this. The original building, they tried to refurbish it and then realized, now we're going to build something far more grand.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So that's why you have your Washington as you have it now. So
Crazy Jeffersonian buildings all over the place there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
You know what I think
that's
is the greatest
fascinating, man.
regret?
What's
is
that?
You guys lost the Chicago exhibition, right?
Oh, did we lose?
Well, no, like that massive big setup at the Chicago exhibition,
Oh, with the fire, yeah.
right? And it had these
Yeah.
grand statues and this whole, the big.
Oh my gosh, there's a
con-
great book about that too. Like a excellent book about the Chicago fire. And it talks about what's his name? The first like serial killer.
Oh yeah, you're talking about H.H. Holmes.
Yeah, yeah. Which was like crazy. Like he had like a hotel near the World Fair, and he would just kill people and take their inheritance.
Except for the timing's off on it.
Yeah. Is it?
That's all rumor. The timing's off. Holmes wasn't doing it during the exhibition.
Huh.
It was just before it.
Oh, there's that. Yeah.
And then the rumor in the story, as it gets retold over time, he was capturing people during the Chicago exhibition, but that wasn't true. It was before it.
That's awesome.
He got found out before that.
That's crazy. I don't know how I misunderstood that. That's bizarre.
No,
because I thought that like a lot of the evidence of it.
It's a massive wives' tale, that one, right?
Oh, that's so interesting. That's fascinating how that happens. It's kind of like the farmers and daylight savings, where you're like, for the longest time, that was my answer. Oh, yeah, like it was for agriculture, because that's what I had heard from everyone. Yeah, that's true. Everything's for the Pope, really, technically, right? Have you guys seen that? I can't remember. There was a Catholic ceremony in England where they're like passing this kind of orb with like a little cross on the top of it, and I don't know what the ceremony's called, but somebody had dubbed it to mix in the Iure Domine from the Monty Python and the Holy Grail. Because it looked like the holy hand grenade. It was hilarious. Yeah. So anyhow, that was an interesting one.
It's the what's that called?
Yeah, that's a good point. Gary brings up a really good question. He says Christopher knows a lot about H.H. Holmes, maybe a little too much. Christopher, where were you during that period?
Building trapdoors.
Yeah. So, Frank, what are you working on right now?
I'm drawing a female superhero because I want to.
Nice. That's a good reason.
Oh, I got something today in the mail from Amazon. I was looking up making comics, homemade comics. See if Scott put anything new up yet. Nothing yet so far. But I found a zine that someone sells under $5. And I got it the next day. I got it today, and it's a zine about making zines. So,
that's awesome.
So I was like, oh, that's cool. So
wait, let's full screen that. Who's that from? Who's that by?
It's by, their name was right here, Eddie Adams.
Nice. So
you can get this on Amazon, and it has an ISBN number and all that stuff. So
cool.
And it's an old fashioned zine. It's stapled together and everything. So it's.
I wonder if they do that through KDP.
I'm wondering too, because that looks pretty cool.
Open the back couple pages, Frank. Open the back couple pages inside. Let me see. I can tell you right away by looking at it.
Let's see.
Okay, give me another one. Go back one more.
Maybe the front pages would be. Maybe they.
Try turning it upside down.
No, it's not. I don't have any with me, but there's a particular, like, it'll have a copyright and a different certain thing from. Yeah, but that's kind of crazy to have a mini comic like that have an ISBN number.
Yeah. I mean, I don't see why they couldn't. ISBN numbers aren't like crazy expensive.
No, I'm not saying.
But yeah, that's unusual.
You guys pay for ISBN numbers?
Yes. Yeah, you can buy an ISBN number.
Yeah.
We don't
get
pay
them
for
free,
those
right?
in Canada.
Sorry, what?
You know,
We don't pay for those in Canada.
Yeah.
Well, you don't pay for healthcare either.
Yeah, that's true. I have to pay if I get cancer, I have to concern myself with the fact that might completely bankrupt me for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But now I'm thinking maybe I should put up some mini comics and zines up on KDP.
Why not?
Yeah.
I think a mini comic distribution network. People have been trying to do. There's a lot of little collectives that do like mini comic distribution and stuff, but
There's one in
I don't
London
know.
here.
What's up?
Okay.
There's one
One
in
in London.
Yeah.
Nice.
They're very angry.
They're angry.
Oh yeah.
I could see that.
Yeah.
Are they kind of like what do you mean by angry? Like, are you talking about? So, because I do think of like when I lived in Oregon, there was like a whole indie comic, like mini comics collective that was in like a building in downtown, and they had like a zine library and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I wonder if you mean the same kind of angry I think you might mean, because if so, I think they had that too.
Yeah, probably. And these ones are also tear down this, and we're tired of all of that. We hate this. Everything.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I can understand that.
It's rough.
It is.
It's a lot of time to spend on being angry. Frank, don't do any angry zines. Hey, that's looking good, Scott.
I want to see Frank do like a really pissed off angry zine. I think that would be amazing. I have to say though, like there's different kinds of angry. Like for instance, American Splendor, that like those comics are great because Harvey Picar's so angry. Like if he wasn't angry, you wouldn't have like the Harvey Picar that everybody loves, you know? Or like Robert Crumb too gets so pissed off all the time. It makes his comics fascinating. I don't think I'd want to hang out with the guy, but it makes his comics fascinating, you know?
Did you ever see Harvey Picar on David Letterman?
I love those. Those clips are amazing. And honestly, kind of genius on Harvey Picar's part. I don't know if it was intentionally that way. From what it seems like, from what people have said and stuff, not so. But what a great way to promote a comic book, you know? But yeah, he was a character, man. But I also like the fact that he had kind of standards that he held to, even if he like had absurd wealth as a potential that he was kind of churning away, you know. Thomas Adams said, "I am here in Mesa this weekend. The local Bookman."
Oh, cool.
Bookman's had a spinner rack full of zines. What's Bookman's?
Probably
Bookman's it's a local. I think it's local, but it's a kind of used bookstore out here.
Okay.
Is it, Thomas? I don't remember. Are you from Arizona, or are you just here now? I don't remember.
From what I recall, I think he is in Arizona because
he probably told me before, and I just forgot. But
I don't know. Actually, I think Scott that he's in your house like right now. No, I'm just kidding. That would be so creepy.
Call coming from upstairs.
Gary said Bookman's is a used bookstore in Arizona. It's pretty cool. Okay, one of the saddest things ever. There were so when I lived in Long Beach, one of the most famous used bookstores in America was on Long Beach Boulevard, and it was called Acres of Books, and it literally stretched back like blocks. So it was like it looks like a regular bookstore in the front. But then it just continues to recede back for like streets of length. It was one of the coolest bookstores ever. And they always had like incredible kind of finds with like graphic novels and stuff like that. But like weird editions that like you'd have no idea how they even obtained them and stuff. And that I think they got shut down, I think, after the pandemic, which is kind of a shame.
That's rough.
Yeah, because the last time I was back in Long Beach, I was like, "Oh no, it's gone." it's yeah. It was like Meltdown too. Like when Meltdown went, I was super bummed because that's a great.
I never got
story.
to go there. I was wanting to go there, and there used to be a podcast that
Nerdist, yeah.
Well, not Nerdist. Well, Nerdist. There's another one called Pod Sequentialism.
Oh, okay.
And the guy that that hosted it, he was, I think, one of the curators there or whatever. And the guy was he was great, and his podcast was great, but it just went away, like so many podcasts do.
Yeah, that's true. Those podcasts that just disappear. What the hell, man?
Bookman was my favorite character on Seinfeld.
I don't remember Bookman. You have to refresh my mind.
Bookman's the guy that he was chasing after George Costanza for his copy of Tropic of Capricorn that he signed out in high school.
Oh yeah,
Jerry signed it out. Jerry signed it out in high school. He lent it to George for a class. The gym coach took it from George, and so Jerry now has a fine of something like $7,000. And so this guy Bookman, played by Philip
Chandler.
Philip Hall, the actor Philip Hall, who's passed away in the last couple of years. And so he, the best part of this character is he's so intense, and his name is Bookman. And so when he knocks on a door, and he knocks like this, of course, right? And Jerry goes, "Come on in." And he goes, "You Jerry Seinfeld?" And he always does this pointing thing at him. Let me see. He goes, "You Jerry Seinfeld?" And he goes, "Yeah." And he goes, "Oh, so you're not so hard to find now, are you?" Right? "Well, I got news for you, fella. When you sign a book out of the library, you bring that book back, or you're getting a fine. And those fines will be paid. You understand that? That's why I'm here." And so he's so intense. And every time he takes a lull in the conversation as he's walking around talking, he goes, "Let me tell you something else." And he says, "What do you do for a living, Seinfeld?" And he says, "I'm a comedian." He goes, "All right, Joey boy."
Joey boy.
So everything he says from that point forward is all just,
oh man,
sick minds. You're drawing the gross, disgusting things in the books. The kids are seeing these and their heads are just blowing out. It's the best character ever.
Nice. Yeah. Man, that show is so genius. I've been wanting to do like a deep dive and rewatch those episodes. I tried a couple years ago, and I the problem was it was just too good. And so I caught myself like 20 episodes in, and I was like, I'm not going to get through all of these. Like but it's like, it is such like an expertly written, like dialogue driven, just awkward situation driven comedy. I absolutely like adore it.
Did you ever hear the Costanza? Can't stand you. Did you ever hear that quote?
Yes.
That's the gym teacher in that
episode.
episode.
Nice.
He lives in the alleyway outside of the library. And he hates George so much because George got him fired for being, because he what do you call that when you yank somebody's underpants up?
Oh yeah, that's right. I do remember this episode. He pantsed him. Yeah. Okay, now this is. I just had forgotten the Bookman bit. Yeah, that's so funny.
He's still got the copy of Tropic of Capricorn in his hobo cardboard house, and he's hugging it at night, going, "Costanza, can't stand you."
Oh, that's amazing.
So good.
That's amazing. Wow, that's crazy. So that's a cool mini that you picked up there, Frank. That's pretty rad.
Yeah. If I find something on how to make mini comics for zines, I try to pick it up, and I saw this there, and it was like only like $4.50 some. Like, I can get, and I could get it the next day.
Yeah.
So like, I ordered yesterday, got today. So.
Oh, I want to share with you guys. I and this is mostly also for like viewers and stuff, but it's like I've been like having this issue where I do these vlogs in my car, right? And I know it makes me very unique as a man in my 40s doing vlogs in a car. That's no other person my age range is doing car vlogs. But anyhow, the audio is pretty awful in them though, and so like you hear this like, and I live in a really hot part of California, so it's kind of like where honestly Frank or Scott would totally understand this because we have really hot weather.
Women. Oh yes, weather.
Yeah. Oh well, that too. I mean, just smokingly hot women. No. But like
Yeah,
because of that, like
drive
you
by.
can't drive in a car in our area like without AC. Like you would die like super quick. And so, well, not
About
die, but
ACs later.
really, yeah, you'd be pretty uncomfortable. And so I have to have the AC running, but you'll just hear this like shh, like the whole time. And I finally got a lavalier mic, so I'm going to be using these little suckers. They like clip on. I tested it the other day, and so hopefully that'll work to like cancel out the AC stuff. But they literally they like clip on. I was like, that's cool. So that was a fun thing. But that's just for anyone watching to know those vlogs will not be as bad, or they'll be worse, and then I'll feel like I just wasted like money. So
You need lighting in your car, a green screen in the back. You need a sound system.
yeah, I like that idea. Yeah, like there's. I get pulled over by the cops. I have like a blue screen behind or a green screen like behind me blocking my view.
What?
You got like a ring light like hanging over your head. Like what?
I'm
What are you
vlogging.
doing?
Only in California.
I'm making a movie, officer.
Guys that sing are premium on the land. But no,
Oh, your thumbnails have been really good lately, Josh.
Oh, thanks. I figured out a quick way to kind of put them together pretty quick. So that's like, I'm trying to make them a little better, but it's like I also wanted to be able to edit them very quickly so that like maybe like 20 minutes after the video is done, it has a thumbnail. But thanks, man. It's cool. Yeah, I'll have to show you at some point how I make them, and then you'll be like, oh, they aren't so good.
I did. That was so last week, Josh. That was my first year of making videos.
Frank's like, look, when I was where you were at, back when I was there. Actually, that would be a good timing for Christopher's joke about the word he always forgets. I love that one. I don't want to make you repeat it though, because I think you already told it on stream.
what's that?
There's that joke with the word you forget.
Oh my god, I can't remember. It's something about what do you call it? It starts with a P, and it's like when you talk down to somebody and correct them. What is that called?
And what's sad is now I'm forgetting the word. That's horrible.
Pretentious? No, that's not the one.
P-A...
Oh, patronizing. I think that was
I think you mean patronizing.
That is the best joke. Anyhow,
it's so horrible. It's so horrible. It's a Jimmy Carr joke. I don't know if you've ever heard of Jimmy Carr.
Speaking of patrons, Scott, what's up with your Patreon?
Okay. So there will be a studio tour coming out very soon.
Oh, cool.
And then after that, you guys will see. You'll see the first video. Probably at least a week before it goes on YouTube, and then after that. So just stick around. After that, then there will be there will be a lot of extras and things like that. So
will you be doing a lot of this? Over here is this, and then over here.
Yeah, a lot of that. Yeah, yes. Yeah. So that's coming soon, Frank.
Come on this way.
Studio tour.
I've been getting asked if the Labcoat is going away, and I think it's still going to be there for a little bit.
Right, that's Smithsonian, buddy.
The Labcoat will make an appearance, a pretty good appearance. I won't always be wearing the Labcoat.
Okay,
but like I said, you'll see first. Once you see it, you'll get it. You're like, okay, this.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
So.
No, I agree. People have been asking me, and like, okay, well, I don't know, but I think it's there.
Yeah, the Labcoat. I won't always be wearing it, but it will feature prominently in every episode.
Okay. Nice. I can't wait to see these new videos. I think they're going to be really cool. I think
it'll be like the back cave. The Labcoat will be on a mannequin, or be another Labcoat.
I'm not saying too much. Like I said, you'll see before most people, Frank. Just
I wish I could share. So I don't want to give spoilers to Gary's book, but
okay.
it's like within the first 2 pages or something, he uses the word "new direction," and
Yep.
I sent him a screenshot of the panel, and I was like, "This panel's really great," or something like that, and then it zooms in on the word, and I was like, "Yes, yes." It's the worst. It's like this brilliant piece of work that he labored over for years, and that was
Wonderful.
one of my first comments to him. But I will tell you guys, there is an appearance of New Direction in that, and it was really. Scott, I don't know if you had this issue, but our last art casters, I had a lot of difficulty not making that joke.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
because the guest kept going like, yeah, and it's going to be a really new approach, like a really new, and like every other word they'd say something new, and I'm like, I can't be a mature adult. It's just a problem for me. This our little community of vloggers, we have all ruined each other's minds, and I think I might be the instigator of that.
Refresh me on what New Direction is.
So
part of
the
it,
boy
but
band.
yeah, it's the boy band that we're all a part of, but it's also a bad joke, because it sounds really, it sounds really bad. Like it's a word that sounds like it's saying something that it's not, like an innuendo kind of sounding word. And so, yeah, that's half the joke.
That's what I thought, but I wasn't sure.
So I had this dream recently, Frank. So there's all these people on this stream, and anyways, it starts riffing on a boy band with Paul Pate, Josh Kemble, Gary Hodges, and Jim Luan. Okay. These guys formed a boy band because a number of the people that are tuning into my streams regularly, Paul has been nicknamed Pantless Paul.
Yes.
It's a great nickname.
So this whole thing starts coming together about this band coming. And we'd all sing backup for him. And so now some of these ladies who are in their 70s are all talking about being the backup singers. And they're just such a wonderful group of people, but it was just ongoing gag. And then I got sent from 3 different people, I got sent copies of the New Direction album cover as soon as that stream was over. And I'm laughing my guts out at
which I believe was put together by,
they're all inappropriate.
Yeah, I believe that was put together by Mr. Hodges himself. Yeah,
but he did a good job.
Yeah, I felt like it had a lot of strength. Like it was a really strong New Direction. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's the kind of album that would keep you hanging tough.
Yeah, exactly.
It's the kind of album you want to put on and play over and over again and not say bye to it.
Yep. But anyhow, so that's the bit, Frank. It's like Handsome Artist. It's been like in the ether of our weird little memes that we generate.
Okay. Why do you know the whole backstory of that? Because I've missed some of Christopher's streams.
Oh yeah,
but I've heard I've heard sections, so I figured it was a riff on One Direction, which I'm assuming that's where it came from. And,
yeah, well, I think,
but I wasn't sure about. I didn't know about Paul having a boy band. So
yeah, and I think the bit was this is long ago on an Artcaster stream. We had a guest who said something about like, and then we're gonna head in a new direction, and I started cracking up. And then I just kind of held back, and I think Scott and Corey were like, "Why were you giggling?" And I'm like, I don't know. I don't know if I should get into this. Like, I had to tell them, like, once you hear this, you can't unhear it. And then, like, you'll be in a board meeting or, like, you know, wherever you are, it's like this word will always sound wrong. But yeah, and then from there, like, I think that Gary and Jim were, like, joking around about it. And I think Gary went ahead and designed like an album cover of the boy band and like the whole thing. So, yeah.
It's
Jim and I came up with the
Yeah.
Lost. There we go. The Lost B-side New Direction track. And then every track on the album is like a real like innuendo. So yeah, that's the origins. Christopher did a one-page comic about a boy band in space.
Yes, that was my suggestion.
There won't be any sequels to that one.
Yeah, that's true. I think the boy band's gonna have. I mean, you could like have like a Lazarus pit. Now that is gonna be my pitch for your next comic idea. Would be do the trope gimmick of the people who didn't die in comics. It could be the return of the boy band from space.
They're all zombies.
Yeah. Oh man, or like there's a time traveling genius who goes back in time and takes them all out of the ship before it explodes.
No, they're floating. They're floating dead in space in that last panel. Here, hold on. I'll pull it up. I'll pull that up. That's a funny one.
That is really funny.
Thing that I do on my stream. There's like all these running jokes amongst everybody all these days. I find
we do,
I've
Gary.
got this thing that on my stream I keep talking about all my sponsors, and for a good week and a half, 2-week period, Jim's friend Jose Cabrera, he did an album. They collected an album of all the songs that Jose's done with Jim, called Constipation. And so on my stream, I kept having this. This episode of my stream is brought to you by Fake Explosion. It's got Jim's music channel, which is brilliant, by the way. You really got to listen to music from his tunes, and then the featuring the album that everybody wants to get, Constipation, by Jose Cabrera. And I kept doing this for like 2 weeks on every stream, and Bob's
That's so great.
Bob's House of Fish is my other. Here, I'll show you. There's
I love Bob's House of Fish. Here, let me make that
for the halibut.
I love it.
Yeah, and then the Fake Explosion logo is there. And the latest album is Illegal Casino. So I keep switching the albums.
I love it.
But they're all
man.
drums. Anyways, that's Boy Band in Space. That's
great.
That's the one where Frank suggested a boy band in space, and so by the end of it, as soon as they go take their spaceship up to space and it opens up to turn into a stage, well, they forget about the fact that oxygen doesn't work in a void, so they all float off dead into space by the end of it. It's pretty dumb.
I love that. I just love that so much.
They're good fun.
Oh man, I am making a layout, and I just did one of those things. Do you guys like? So I catch myself doing this every once in a while in comics, where like it's like that whole thing where you draw like a room with a table, and then you draw everything, and you think you got everything nailed, and you look, and it's the room without the table for like a panel, that kind of thing, right? I just had a moment like that with my layout where I'm like, why did I do that? And then I did it consistently wrong on 3 panels. Yeah. So if I'm quiet, that's what I'm doing. I'm correcting that. So you're working on a 1-pager right now. What's the?
Are you finishing the text on it? I'm literally done. It's done. I'm just finishing the text on the 500 years from now, scientists will discover the gnome genome.
Oh yeah, that's right. And you showed it for us, and it looks pretty rad. I like the lawn gnomes in it too. I feel like lawn gnomes there's something incredibly creepy about lawn gnomes.
Oh yeah.
Did you know there's like a whole series of like this gnome thing on like Netflix for some reason? There's like all these gnome movies, like Gnomeo and Juliet.
Yeah, I've seen that one.
Like these exist, And
Yeah,
I
somehow
saw in the theater.
It was an animated film.
Oh
Yeah.
my god, that's awesome.
it's kind of bizarre that it became a thing, but it's like there's a mix of me that like loves it, and also a mix of me that's like, oh man, that's a boardroom right there. That's definitely a boardroom of like dads who are like that's it, that's the sauce. I don't know. Let's see here.
I've got my text set on like 176.84 PT. I don't know why it's set that high. So I start to try to do the lettering on my page, and immediately it's like the largest letters you've ever seen in your life.
I love it. That could be a theme for a one-page comic. It's just everything is way too large.
Story
Like
of
the
my
type
life.
is just there you go. And like the whole thing could be in type that's like filling the page. I don't know.
That'd be the shortest page to do. And then
That's
everybody would
true.
go on about. I had to look up what kerning was because of a conversation you were having the other day, Josh. Like, what the hell?
Oh,
is
really?
kerning? Oh, yeah.
Oh, kerning's
I
great,
never
man.
went to school, right? I
Yeah.
went to high school. I finished high school and just started, showing in galleries and stuff.
That's awesome, though.
I never did post-secondary.
Yeah.
I'm just a nerd.
That's awesome, though. Like, it's funny. I didn't, like, even after college, like, I had, like, a design class where they'd go over kerning and stuff, and we had these exercises to do it, on letters, where they'd give you these words that are intentionally hard to kern words, just to, like, teach you the process. And it never unlocked for me while I was in school at all. And it was really just when I started doing my own type and stuff and getting more into type that, like, kerning kind of unlocked for me. The one thing that unlocked it for me was just like general aesthetics. So if you put like a circle next to a square, even if they're the same kind of height and width, they look like, and if you put a square next to a square and you have it the same height and width, it looks closer than a circle and a square, even though they're the same distance from each other.
So
does that make sense?
That's the push and pull of scale and color by Hans Hofmann.
Yeah.
Hans Hofmann came up with that in the 1950s.
Yeah. So that dynamic, though, that basic, that illusion that can happen where you have the same distance, but like a rounded object next to a straight object looks awkward next to a straight object and a straight object that are equally distant from each other. That's the whole premise of kerning. Is around that fundamental. So it's like if you have a T next to an L, it's a lowercase t. It needs to be a little bit closer than like you'd have like a lowercase L to an L because like you have to make up for that negative space. That's all. It's just adjusting the negative space. But it's that, yeah, and then it just takes a lot of playing to kind of get used to. I don't know. Scott, like when did you because when did you start kind of playing with kerning?
Yeah, college. I mean, that's typography class. That's pretty much it.
Yeah. Yeah, the type classes were helpful for that, but again, like it's funny. It's one of those things didn't unlock till after for me.
That's funny. You guys, you had a typography class. I had a typing class once. We literally typed.
I had one of those too, and
me too.
I failed that thing miserably. I still can't type today.
So when you guys had a typing class, was that like back when were there typewriters at that point, or was it like wait? No, I'm just kidding. I'm joking.
No,
there were. Yeah, it was.
No. I was gonna joke that you guys were doing it on like something pre-typewriter. That was gonna be the bit.
No, that was math class where we used Abacus.
Yeah, so like it's funny, different generations, because like what I will say will still make me seem old to people, which is we had word processors.
We used to dream of word processors.
Oh man, that's one of the best Monty Python bits. Have you guys heard that one where everybody's comparing their terrible childhoods?
We used to get up half an hour before we went to bed, and our father would flash us some tea with a bread knife. Dance around the house screaming, "Oh, hallelujah."
It's the best.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, you think that was bad? We'd wake up at 1 a.m, lick the floor clean with our tongues.
It was a road. Like
We
the
would
road.
That's right. And then he's like, you were lucky to have a road. it's so good.
78 of us. There were 78 of us in a room with 80% of the floor falling in. We all crowded into a corner for fear of falling as well. You were lucky to have a room. When I say a home, I meant a hole in the ground. It's just gets stupider and stupider as it goes.
Oh, it's so good.
But back then back then it was different because we were poor. We were happy we were poor. Like it was just it's so mental.
Oh, it's so good. But what's funny is after that bit, you start noticing those conversations happening, and you're like, "Oh man." So what was type class like? What was
typing
for you guys?
Learned how to type. So when I was in high school, this high school that I was at we had new electric typewriters, and it was a big deal. And then that school closed down to make way for an adult education school. And so that was my end of that time at high school, and I went over to Beale, which is the technical school in London, to continue my high school. But Beale had a separate building off at the side, and half of that building was for students for broadcasting.
Okay.
And the other half of that building was for students to take professional art classes taught by professional artists.
Wow.
And it was a program that was started by Harrison Maggie Kreiderman. Anyways, they went on to build a proper art department at the local college, Fanshawe, and they built a proper art department at the University of Western. But first it was Beale, and so Beale was the art school. And because it had such because we learned everything that people were learning in college and university, you could, if you went and signed up for OCAD, like the academies of art that are across Canada, one's in Alberta, one's in Halifax, one's in you didn't have to do first year.
Yeah, that makes sense.
In the second year of your art degrees.
So you're getting a lot of foundations there then. That's pretty badass. Yeah.
So so when I finished most of my credits for high school, I just switched over to Beale Art full time. And I did a year and a half of all the classes I could take at Beale Art. And that was it for me, because soon after my oldest was born.
Nice.
Because I was the guy who married young.
Yeah, that kind of makes sense though, because it's like if you got kids to take care of and stuff, I know somebody right now whose wife just like finished like a graduate program, and they have like 3 kids, and I'm like, I have no idea how you guys made that work, because that's like, all I'm saying is if anybody's out there and they're doing like adult education, like when they have kids and stuff, that's freaking like hats off to you. I have no idea how because thinking about it now, it's like I don't know how I would ever do school, I don't know. Jay Boys. We got Jim Lujan saying Jay Boys. Jay is for just got home. That's right. We gotta figure out. See, I guess we'd be like Jay. I don't know. I'm gonna do my J backwards though. That's the problem. We gotta figure it out. Yeah, something like that. There we go. Yeah. This is like loser. J Boys. It's like, wait, no, you're saying losers. That's cool though. But what's funny is like a lot of the type stuff, like it was helpful to have the classes, but a lot of what I learned was just by like doing it. And I know that like Scott like built his own like fonts and stuff. I'm kind of curious, Scott, if did the process of building your fonts like level you up with type?
Oh, yeah. Talk about kerning. When you create your own font, you have to kern. You have to pretty much kern every single combination of every single letter you can think of. And the program helps you out a little bit, like, but it's, I mean, you keep having to go back and figure that stuff out. And not only, if it's an all caps type face, it's not as bad, but once you go caps and lowercase, I mean, there's so many different combinations, and so.
Yeah, and I will tell you, I still have trouble capitalizing kerning non-header type. Like people who can like really quickly kern body copy, it's like that's hats off to you. I can't do that nonsense. Yeah. That's cool though. Like, like to me, the thing that helps with any of that stuff is it's all based around kind of like aesthetic principles that are just in the fundamentals of like 2D design. So if you get like the 2D design stuff and you start learning like figure foreground flips and all that aesthetic stuff, like that's all just type anyway. Like it's all kind of the same. It all runs from like the same principles, So
figure foreground or figure four type flip sounds very physical.
Oh, a figure foreground flip? You know what that is. You know what that is without saying it. Because it's like, that's just when you have like, so have you ever seen the optical illusion of like it looks like a chalice, but then it also can look like two faces?
Oh, yeah.
So that's a figure foreground flip where it's like the value is so equally balanced on the composition that it causes a flip between what is figure and foreground, because like it's equal parts black and equal parts white, and that's all it is, which we've all done. It's just like again, like that's the thing, like a lot of artists just by doing it, like they know this stuff without even knowing the word for it, and to me that's just as valuable.
Oh yeah. Like how many artists on off the top of your head, okay, how many people here can name the principles and elements of design?
Oh man, that'd be a hard one.
Okay. Hold on. But you know what they are.
Yeah.
Size, shape,
yeah.
Oh, okay. I can go to school, so
look it up, Frank. That's it's one of those things. See, I'm mostly self-taught with all my madness, right? But I mean, you learn the basic stuff when I was at BL Art, but
yeah,
pretty much everything that I've been doing since has just been growing and growing and growing, right?
Yeah.
But there's just still so many terms that other people they'll learn in higher institutions and things like that. I have no idea what they're talking about, but you just did it. I'm like, I did. Do I have any allergies? I got a problem with stupid questions.
Oh snap! He's allergic to the J boys. By the way, Jim, you're welcome to join. The links in the Artcasters.
If Jim joins, that's enough of us to have a harmony.
I know, that's true. We might actually be able to like do a little bit of a New Direction reunion, because we'd have like most of the members.
Extreme.
It's true.
I'll get my guitar out.
Yeah, it's so funny because I'm like, I think that it's not. There's like this false conception of like academics as if it's gonna suddenly like make you a good artist or something like that. But I do think it's smart to get like, it's smart to get educated in some way or another, whether it's like a formal institution or it's just by reading or like exploring ideas and stuff. But it's like, I think that false idea that like, somebody having a paper degree is like means anything is kind of silly. Because it really only matters unless like if you've done something with it, and so
yeah, right. And but there is something to be said though, if you do want to follow that path where you're educating others at college and university level, you do have to have some sort of foundational diploma.
Oh yeah, like that,
or years and years of experience under your belt.
Yeah, I mean, like I could technically, like, if I get older and want to teach college classes or adjunct and stuff, like I can because of my degree. But and experience, but the degree would be essential for that, because they won't let you. At least most of the schools, like art schools, won't let you teach unless you have an MFA. So,
see, I've taught from grade 3 to university.
Yeah,
like I go in and do, like 3 days here with the school or a week.
That you can definitely do. And also, honestly, with your experience, like that can override a degree too. So it depends on the school,
Well, we've got a business school as part of our major university here in London.
Uh-huh.
And so I did some workshops with a bunch of business students. How
did that go?
Horrible.
Yeah,
you've never seen such a group of people that are all, I can't draw, man. I'm not good at drawing. I'm really good at numbers. Like just almost the entire 64 students, almost every one of them were saying the same thing.
But could they draw a stick figure?
What's that?
But could they draw a stick figure?
No,
it's like, I can't draw a stick figure. I can't draw a stick figure.
That's exactly it. There's at least 20 of them. But they were trying to race each other for who could say it faster. It's like,
That's interesting. To me, it sounds almost like my response would be if like I was in a room full of businessmen who were like, do math. And I'm like, I suck at math. And they're like, no, it's fun. And I'm like, I know it's creative. I know it's cool. I hate math. Like, although technically that's the thing. I never say I can't do math. I just don't like doing math. But.
Yeah, but you also realize how intrinsic math is in art.
Yeah. Yeah. For sure. Like that's much more interesting to me is the mathematics in art, or like stuff in my day job where stuff's being prepped for like manufacturing and you have to like, transfer like meters to inches, that kind of stuff.
Oh yeah. Fun.
Not fun. We're so dumb for not like, why don't we have the metric system? It doesn't make any sense. Do you guys get that?
Cool.
It's strange though, and it makes it really difficult for client stuff because when we present for clients, it's like it all has to be like 1.5 inches or 1 1/8, and then it's like, then you have to do the like 1.125, and like it's just that transfer gets really annoying when you start getting into like 16ths.
Oh, yeah.
Couldn't we just have the point and call it a day? Yeah.
So I built.
Sorry, guys, I'm selling out my country. I don't like fractions. I like decimals, man.
You better put away all your rulers that have American flags on them, because those two are apparently intrinsically linked.
Wait, what is? I missed that.
You got to put away all your rulers that have American flags on them because those two things are intrinsically linked.
That's a good point. Like. Actually, now I wonder, like, why people who are like really patriotic and like fly flags on their trucks and stuff don't also have just like rulers attached to everything. They're just like rulers. That's right. That's my country. That kind of thing.
We've got this thing in Canada right now because the prime minister that we have here, and I'm going to get all political.
Philip, you're welcome to join too. We got so many people, we might as well add more, so I'll send you a link.
It's true. We've got this thing in Canada right now where there's so much disfavor for the dissatisfaction with our prime minister that there are people that have flags in the back of their trucks as they're driving on the road that say F Trudeau.
Yeah.
I mean, like a common occurrence.
Yeah, that
sounds like here.
Yeah, I was gonna say we have a bit of that. Yeah, I think the favorite thing is "Let's Go Brandon." That whole thing, like, there's a lot of flags.
What's that?
Yeah, a lot of that. What's up?
What's that?
Oh,
Let's
it's
go,
like,
Brandon.
So there was a Biden or an event where somebody was. I can't even remember where it originated
it's
from.
It's like a race car thing.
Yeah, a race car event. And people were saying, like, they thought they were saying, "Let's go, Brandon." And they're like, "Yeah, let's go, Brandon." And it's the newscaster. And in the background, it was a bunch of people saying F Joe Biden. And so it's become this whole bit on the right, like, where people like who want to say F Joe Biden will just say, "Let's go, Brandon," which is actually kind of clever.
That's pretty good.
But it's a little annoying when it's like on a neighbor's flag, like draped across their front lawn. You know? Yeah.
I haven't seen that, but a friend of mine, like, he wore a shirt like that to church, and I was like, and he just started coming out, so I was like, maybe he doesn't know what that means. And I told him, like, well, it's kind of like F you too. Yeah, I know. Like, you wore that to church?
Yeah. Yeah. That's the times we live in. The times we live in.
There's a funny thing that I saw recently, and it was on Reels or something like that on Instagram, where somebody had edited a Joe Biden commercial for his new campaign for the next election, and they used a deep fake voice for it.
Huh.
But it's
Was that Adam Moore?
No, it's nobody we know. It's it was
okay, because there is like a Joe Biden endorsement of Jacob's apartment. I'm just throwing
that's what I'm saying. Adam Moore did that.
But that's funny. But anyways, there's the whole thing where he's like, every morning I get up and have a whole syringe of vitamin C shot right into my butt just so I could figure out what's going on in Washington.
Okay.
You gotta back me up here before they bring out another Trump. The whole thing is just this fantastic thing about
That's
how
so funny.
I know I come off as drunk, but I'm just old. Like, it's just sometimes I get sleepy in the afternoon, but I'll do the most work I can in the morning. You know, like it sounds positive, but it's clearly not.
Yeah, that's hilarious. That's funny.
I just think that was really funny.
Yeah, that's always been one of the weirdest things about just in general, like our country. Like I'll be honest and say I actually like Joe Biden, but the weirdest thing I'll say is, like, regardless of where you stand, I think we could all agree that, like, maybe not having, you know, presidents who are potentially going to kick the bucket, like, like a year into their office, like maybe we can go back to like a little bit prior to having people the age they're at. And like, honestly, that's just across the board, all our candidates at this point that are viable, you know?
Well, I mean, the funny part of it is like, come on, you gotta keep me in office. Good Lord, you don't want Camilla in there. Or I think her name is Camilla.
No,
Kamala.
Yeah, Kamala.
Kamala. Okay. Oh, Camilla's the queen. God help us.
Oh.
But yeah, it's like it's a weird time we live in, man.
Wait, not Kamala Khan. That's Miss Marvel.
Yeah. Oh, is that? Did I say it wrong?
That's the third Miss Marvel.
Well, no, it's Kamala, but I was saying that's Kamala Khan. Like, no, that's from the Marvels. What's Kamala's last name? Harris. Okay.
Yeah, Kamala Harris is was from California.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, and she was not
Did you know her?
Super popular among the left here because of like she made some questionable decisions in regards to like court cases and stuff like that because she was like the DA or something.
Okay.
But anyhow, still, like, you know, not a necessarily like a bad candidate, but I can say like definitely not a lot of people's first choice, at least in California. But is Californian and kind of rad, so I'll give her credit. First VP in history.
From California?
No,
well, you guys have already had a president, so what's
Well,
so I'm going to be right back. I'm going to disappear for a second. You guys, do you want me to play a trailer, or would you rather just continue the discussion? Because either way,
play your trailer.
Okay.
I really like Jim Luan's trailer that he did.
I could listen to that one all the time.
I agree. I honestly get a kick out of it every time because you know, as nerdy as it is, I'm a fan of Jim Luan, and the fact that he actually did this was like, it still geeks me out because I'm like, that's so cool. So, okay, here we go.
Hi, my name is Phil Chandler. I'm a freelance.
We'll play Phillips later.
Yeah,
Wordzoid. You know what? I'll play Philip's right now, and then we'll do Jim's next. Okay.
Hi, my name is Phil Chandler. I'm a freelance artist, illustrator, and cartoonist. Today, though, however, I want to tell you about a graphic novel I picked up recently called Jacob's Apartment. This book was both written and beautifully illustrated by Joshua Kemble. It is the story of a doomed romance that causes the main character to question his beliefs and his faith, while he's also going through other tragedies in his life. Every page has been illustrated by hand and digitally colored with painstaking detail. It is an emotional story that causes you to think and even question things in your own life. And while the story is a tragedy, it is one that I was completely entertained by and I highly recommend. You can currently find this on Amazon or even check in with your local bookstore and see if you can order it. And while you're at it, you can also check out my Instagram at Phil Chandler Arts and also my YouTube channel by the same name, Phil Chandler Arts. And go buy Jacob's Apartment.
That's actually a great review.
Yeah.
Oh.
It sounds like an ad for renting apartments. Go buy Jacob's Apartment before space runs out.
Nice. I've never thought of that spin. It's a good spin to give on it. It's like, if you're looking for an apartment, consider Jacob's
Apartment.
I love that. Philip was like, God no. Sorry, it was me saying God no to like clicking the wrong link, not to your wonderful.
Not Philip. Not that one.
Although now I kind of want to do that every time I play an endorsement, just go God. But anyhow, no, Philip, that was actually a really cool endorsement. I love them all.
I like the Adam Lohr's actual review where it kind of crossed over from mine to yours. So like
that was cool. Yeah,
there was like Josh's is like so depressing. So if you want to pick me up, read Captain Goggles and Woman.
This was pretty much just like, this is the most depressing book. I don't get it. Yeah.
It puts me down. I like the art.
Yeah. It was funny.
Lori's,
It was good.
my wife liked your book so much she did a review of it, Josh.
What's up?
My wife liked your book so much she did a review of that.
I know, it was a really good review too. It was cool. She seems like a really smart lady too. Not just because she likes my book. I mean, that helps, but no, she just like critiqued it really well.
She sounds like she has really good taste.
Yeah.
Did she like Captain Goggles and Masked Woman?
Yes, she did.
Okay, then.
I don't think I could get her to read it.
The answer to that would be funny though if the answer was no, and then he's like,
"Well,
I'm kind of questioning that."
Yes, I had that locked and loaded. If Chris said no,
we were hoping for it.
My wife doesn't really read comics, right?
That's awesome.
She's very much a novel person, and if
she's quite novel.
There you go. But she read Jacob's Apartment, and she really enjoyed it, and I mean that says a lot. She's not wonderful.
Yeah. I just wanted you to say no so I can do a joke.
He was hoping to stack up a joke where he could go, she has really good taste. What does she think of my stuff? And then you'd be like, oh, she didn't really like it. And then he could be like, I don't know about the taste. Like,
I could be wrong.
Do a book review of my stuff.
That's true. I do think like doing some more reviews would be cool.
I need to start doing reviews on my channel again.
Oh, sorry, what?
As I need to start doing reviews on my channel again. I kind of stopped for a little bit. But
yeah, I want to start doing that for people that like it would be fun to do that for people in our circle too. And like I appreciate the people who have, because like I totally understand being in the scenario where we're working on comics so often. Like, when are you going to find the time to do that? And like So the fact that people have found the time to do that is really meaningful, because that time doesn't come free, you know.
Scott did an episode.
That's right.
And he talking about new mail that came in, and then he talked about one page,
Mm-hmm.
and that just blew me away.
Yeah, it's meaningful,
I
right?
appreciated that so
Right.
much.
Yeah, I mean, well, thanks for sending. I mean, that's the thing. I mean, it's I guess an exercise in good promotion. I mean, if you got a book, send it to somebody who's got a channel or something. I
True.
mean, especially if it's
I've
good.
never-
If it's good like yours.
That's how I heard about you, Christopher, from Scott's video.
Is that
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
Well, I
And it's like,
appreciate
oh, that sounds like a really good idea, and like I want to try that. And then you started popping up doing your videos, and then it's like, oh, cool, that's who that is.
I feel like Scott and Jim are both people who like link people up a lot. I don't know if that makes sense, but it's like a lot of people I've met, you know, like I met Corey through Scott. I met Jim through like Kevin and stuff like that, but I've met so many people through Jim. It's like it's just one of those weird things where you meet. There's people who like link people. I don't know if that makes sense, and I feel like Scott's one of those key ones where he'd be like, "Oh, you got to talk to," like Scott would be the first person to like if somebody was talking about sci-fi and like alien comics or something, he'd be like, "Oh, you got to meet Gary Hodges. Like you got to meet this guy," and then like he'd link them up. Like
I think that's how I found out about you and Corey through Scott's channel. I think I found a video of Scott, and he mentioned the Artcasters, and I saw one of the videos, and like, what's this Artcasters thing? And you were there, and then you mentioned 48 Hour Art Check, and I checked that out, and I found Jim through one of those.
yeah.
So it's like everyone just like connected.
And the thing that sucks about that kind of thing is like a lot of people like sell classes and be like these marketing events and stuff like that. It's like you don't always have to like do that. Like a lot of it's very organic, you know, with like creating networks. It's just like find people you like and watch them and hang out with them, you know.
And even giving copies of my book to giving a copy of my book to Scott there, and like that wasn't because it was like maybe I'll get some attention. It was totally because hey, check this out. Like I didn't think about it from a marketing standpoint at all.
Which is like that's the weird part about that's I think hard for like especially like newer artists or people who are like really trying to like network and give off that like air. It's like what you're describing is that is how it kind of works. It's like you shouldn't really be just sending it to somebody just because they're like, oh, should talk about this. It's like the way you went about it is exactly the right way. It's just like, hey, I like this creator. I wonder what they think about this. Check this out.
Now, mind you, when I'm walking down the street on a regular basis, I'm always going, "Who's really great?"
Yeah, exactly.
Hello?
You're like, excuse me, ma'am. Who has two thumbs and is awesome? That's right. All right. Just walk on.
You.
Oh, nice. And then they hold up their hands and their thumbs are gone. How dare you? How dare you? And walk away crying. That's a one-page comic right there. So it's got the double mislead.
You come in here with your jokes,
with your thumbs. Oh my gosh, how would
you suggest that as the one page?
Oh man,
how would you suggest that as a one page? I'm going to write it down.
It's a good one because it's got a double mislead, right? Like the first mislead is you think the guy's holding up his thumbs, pointing at himself, saying, "Who's got two thumbs?" Then you get the mislead of you.
Who's got two thumbs and it's awesome? You.
Yeah.
And she's like, I don't have to.
How dare you, sir?
I lost them in the war.
Oh man. We create gold on this channel.
Who's got two thumbs guy in a thumbless world?
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
Scott, have you thought about playing around with some one pagers, just like whenever you wrap up with Young and the Dead?
Yeah, I'd love to. Yeah, I mean, it's so great. I mean, the reason why I featured Christopher's comic is because I was all about start with a small comic, start small. But I never thought of really going that small. And the genius of it is you do one, but you don't stop at one. You keep doing more, and and you've got, and here he's got a whole book of them. So I mean, it fit everything I was talking about so perfectly.
Yeah.
Cool.
No, I think it does, and honestly, like I found out about Christopher from when he was on Artcasters, and like it was super inspiring. It's just inspiring to look at, like his work's really good. It's like
he
really
is.
creative.
I just look at Christopher and I'm so inspired.
One Page is my 30th book.
I love that.
Wow.
There's so many bad books that precede that. Bad books. It all comes from when the lockdown started in Canada. I was still manager of a comic store back then, and there's so many of our customer base, as it is with most comic shops, is that there's a lot of people that are single adults and a little disconnected, and maybe their only outing is going to the comic store. And then on top of that, there's still a lot of single people that are feeling isolated as it is, living on their own during all this lockdown crap, and they're stuck at home alone for weeks, So I started this thing where I said, listen, if you want to tell me some ideas and I'll draw them online, like we'll just chat on a video thing and I'll do it online. And so I would do all these on YouTube or not YouTube, on Facebook or Instagram. And then it just, before I knew it, I had done 183 of them. What is wrong with me? So I did that first book, and I've got so much that I can do more with, but I just haven't got around to doing it. But while I'm doing that, I'm still working on book projects for other people in the morning. And then I've almost got 2 finished projects and a third one on the way right now as well. So it's like the one page thing is a way to just relax for a moment.
Yeah, that's why I was asking Scott, because it, like, just watching you do them, it's like, I think when I finish this, maybe before jumping back into 2 Stories Book 2, it might be refreshing to just do a couple one-pagers just to clear the palette, and play around a bit.
Do you get are you guys going to open it up and let people suggest stuff?
It's not a bad idea, although I have so many ideas I want to do on my own. But I do like the idea of riffing off of suggestions for sure. I mean, just the idea of taking it and then trying to make it something that tells something, that's really challenging. But I don't know if I'd be quite great at that. What about you, Scott? Would you? And also Frank, would you ever do like a one page comics?
Yes, actually, I've done one panel comic strips of Captain Goggles and Mask Woman, just a little one-off jokes that might not fit in a story, but just where they can kind of fit anywhere. So I'm thinking about just doing like a full page of just like just random comics, not necessarily Captain Goggles, but and I got a lot of it just from just watching Chris. And like, what, I can do that.
That's not such a big deal. I can do that.
Who's this Chris guy? I can do that.
Who's this guy, Chris, walking around making these one-page comics
with his 2 thumbs?
With his 2 thumbs.
Canadian maple trees. You could just go up and lick maple right off them. Here's today's pick.
Oh, let's see it full screen. Hold on. Wow,
That's great.
that's so funny. There's something so creepy about lawn gnomes too.
Oh yeah.
They're just wonderfully. They're like fodder for that.
There's a
That's
microwave
amazing.
show.
Thank you.
It's just weird how they became pop culture.
Gnomes, yeah, that is a kind of curious thing. Like, how did they catch on? And why am I full screen here? Okay, there. Okay. Sorry, Christopher.
No,
I thought I
You got
took
the
the.
two thumbs.
Yeah, but I thought I took the. Anyhow, that was a live stream fail there on my part. So yeah, like I don't know. It's an interesting thing.
Yeah. There used to be a cartoon show called David the Gnome that I used to watch.
I know David the Gnome. My wife really loved it. I was making fun of it one day because it was a show that I always felt like just. And again, like I was young and cocky when I was making fun of it. Now I might relook at it. Maybe the animation was like incredible and I just didn't see it. But it always, as a kid, kind of felt cheap. And so I was making fun of it. And then my wife was like, I watched that like all the time and told me about like the premise and stuff. And I was like, oh, I didn't even know there was like a plot and all the stuff to
It
it.
shaped who I am, Josh. I would be nothing without David the Gnome.
How dare you,
Dare
sir?
you. So
With
you and
your two thumbs. This is going to have to be a bit that just continues.
I'm definitely doing that page this week.
Oh, yeah.
That needs to be a t-shirt, you and your two thumbs. Who do you think
Exactly.
you are? Like, okay.
I have. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
So there was a morning show in Canada here called Brannigan, and this is in the 1960s, 70s. And it was this Irish Canadian, this Irishman had come over to Canada. And, hello, kids, come on into the show now. And it'd go, who lives in a two-star inn in the forest? It's Brannigan. And it'd be this little guy doing this hop, skip, and Kaylee dance, you know the Kaylee, Kaylee?
Is that like a river dance kind of thing?
A lot of legs. It's that whole, the Michael guy where everybody would look like.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
So
river dance, yeah.
Like, man. So here's Brannigan doing his Kaylee around a little toadstool. And
you got backup here. You got backup here, Frank. I'm just saying. I was just saying Frank's got backup just in case on the David the Gnome front.
David the Gnome was
right.
He was too legit.
Right.
Too cool.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to check that out. I haven't even heard of it.
Yeah, Brannigan sounds fascinating. So he does like a jig.
I'd ever seen green screen. It was one of the first uses of green screen in Ontario.
Oh, okay.
They had a forest behind him, so he looked like this tiny little guy in a forest, and it was green screen.
Oh, crazy!
Yeah. And that
I would love to do a deep dive of like Canadian television.
Oh, Canadian television's mental, man.
Well, I used to watch on Nickelodeon when it first came out. That you can't do that on television.
Yeah,
I used to love that show.
There was my favorite show growing up. There was there's Mr. Dress Up, and it was this guy who had a creepy adopted son named Casey and his dog.
I remember you talking about this on stream, and I think Jim was saying that
Jojo?
Paul Pate is Mr. Dress Up. Because what was it called? The Tickle Trunk?
The Tickle Trunk on Mr. Dress Up, yeah. And then
and he was saying that Paul Pate like walks around telling people to check out his trick and tickle trunk. But anyhow, sorry. Continue.
He likes to tickle random strangers. Then there was the Friendly Giant, which is this guy who it moves in this pan shot on the friendly, like this little kingdom, and then there's a castle, and the camera moves right up to this, and it's all models, right? It goes right up to the castle, and then it cuts to an inside shot where there's this fake little fire, and there's some toy rocking chairs. There's a toy rocking chair and a couple of smaller little chairs, and he says, come on in. We got a couple chairs for you and a little rocking chair for two of you to curl up in. But why don't you look up, way up? And the camera pans up, and there's the friendly giant, right? And then the camera, of course, cuts to the other studio camera where he's standing there on the set. Hey, how you doing? And he has Rusty the Rooster, who's a rooster he keeps in a bag hanging on the wall. And Rusty the Rooster pulls out a flute for him to go, right? And that's how he calls Jerome the purple giraffe who sticks his head through the window. Canadian morning shows were whack.
That sounds kind of amazing to me.
Captain Kangaroo, remember that?
Yeah.
Captain Kangaroo,
Green
Canadian
Genie?
show?
Is he Canadian?
No, it's like I think he's from like just over in the northern states.
Oh, okay.
But
Yeah, I
or
used to
maybe
watch Captain Kangaroo.
maybe Kangaroo was Canadian. Maybe he was.
I know that like
Frankenstein's Canadian.
the kids in the hall were definitely not Canadian at all. Like that was a pure American.
The big Canadian comedy groups that made a huge mark on North America. SCTV is an American thing.
SCTV, yes.
ETV, which is half Canadian cast and a bunch of Americans in the cast too. That's what SCTV is known for. Meanwhile, it's an American started thing, right?
Yeah.
And then Kids in the Hall, of course, and the Royal Canadian Air Farce.
I have never seen that one. What is the Royal Canadian Air Farce?
They're not very funny.
Oh, okay.
No, never mind.
They're a farce.
It's a good name.
They came off as really tame and very CBC. And so if you're a really left-leaning CBC person, you'd like them because, they're funny. They're making fun of cops and donuts.
I might like them.
There's and the kids in the hall, of course, and then there's all kinds of other comedy groups that had really brief runs at TV shows like Corky and the Juice Pigs. Have you ever heard of them?
No.
They've got their music.
They're called the Juice Pigs.
Corky and the Juice Pigs. They've been on Mad TV.
Okay.
A bunch of American shows, but they got these songs. Like one is Phil loves the Air Farce. There you go. They got a song called "I'm the Only Gay Eskimo." Me and Chuck, we both like blubber, but me, I got a crazy fetish for rubber. I'm the only gay Eskimo.
Interesting.
It just goes on and on and on. And they got another song, "Die, They Must Die, the Pandas Must Die." And, just
that's
ridiculous.
funny.
And then there was a comedy groups, like a lot of Canadian comedy groups are musically based, like Moxie Fruitus and things like that. Canadian comedy, though, it's the big three was always SCTV, Kids in the Hall, and Air Farce. The Air Farce was only popular here because of Canada and the CBC. Never made a dent in the States, but the other two were massive in the States. And what's funny is that's Lorne Michaels that did Kids in the Hall.
Yeah.
That's Lorne Michaels is doing Kids in the Hall in Toronto while he's doing Saturday Night Live still.
That's so funny.
Right? And then
that's a testament to how good Kids in the Hall were at the time too, because he doesn't develop everybody, like anyhow.
5 years.
Yeah.
And they're still going. They've had they did a reunion series called Death Comes to Frogtown.
Yeah, I still haven't watched that, and I've heard mixed things, and so I've held back on watching it because I really liked the original show, and I'm worried it's going to suck.
The difference with Death Comes to Frogtown is that where the show is sketches, that's a series with linked scenes.
Oh, okay.
Right? And so that's the transitional problem that people have with it, is that they're so used to random sketch to sketch to sketch.
Yeah.
Whereas this is, Death, who's played by Mark McKinney. He's a guy wearing leather shorts, or no, he's wearing really, really highly cut off jean shorts. And he's got a leather vest on, and he's got this face. Kid, how you doing there? Right? and he rides on a BMX chopper bike, bicycle, and he's death. He's the Grim Reaper.
That's so
He's
funny.
just because he's failed at bringing in a body one time. He's been demoted so that he has to come to Frogtown.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, he's always bringing hookers back to the motel. It's ridiculous.
I'm gonna have to check that out. I
Yeah, it's so
gotta
good.
get over the hesitation. I think I've told you guys my favorite. Well, maybe we can make a round and say what our favorite Kids in the Hall sketch is. Mine is this weird one that I haven't seen in years, but it's like a black and white horror movie where it's like this guy goes to a toupee shop and he picks out a toupee that he likes very much, and then the toupee winds up like taking him over, and he grows like a beard and becomes all crazy. And then like and he's like obsessed with his toupee because it's giving him like superpowers and stuff like that, like with people, like it's impressing ladies and stuff like that. And then one day the toupee like disappears and it's like replaced by a squirrel or something. It's like the stupidest. But the toupee ends up on a different person, you know.
Yeah,
so he's wearing this like dead squirrel on his head. I can't remember the full premise of it.
The toupee's abandoned him, so he puts the squirrel.
That's right. But even before he wears the squirrel, there's a scene where the squirrel's alive and he looks at him, and then it cuts to him with the squirrel toupee. Because in his madness and
that's excellent.
Yeah, it's the stupidest bit.
That's a running theme with a lot of Kids in the Hall sketches, is that they get a lot of sketches about somebody having a breakdown.
Yeah.
Do you guys, have you seen the Kids in the Hall, Scott?
I have, yeah. Yeah.
Well, okay.
Yeah, I haven't seen the new one. There's the new one on Netflix. I think I watched like the first episode, and I just don't watch a lot of TV. But
yeah.
Well, I haven't seen the new one. Scott?
What's that?
What's your favorite sketch as a Kids in the Hall?
Oh, geez. You know what? I don't know if I could pick one out. I'm trying to remember. I guess I should say I'm more familiar with it, and I mean I didn't watch a ton of it, but I have seen it, and the ones I saw were funny. But I'm trying to remember.
There's the squishing your head bit. That's pretty popular. Yeah. Classic.
It's like squishing
your head.
There's
pretentious little bitch kid.
There's the one, the guy that works at a bank that's really obsessive with his pen, and someone borrows the pen and takes it. He's like, "My pen, you got my pen."
It's the cut shot of where he pictures somebody cleaning their ear with it, and blood.
Yes.
That's the creepiest part of it all. And then in the last scene, he's got a helmet on, and the pen's on a chain.
Yeah.
You borrow his pen, it can't get away from him. I think there's my two favorite sketches. One is really short, and one is obnoxiously long. There's a sketch where it just cuts to Kevin McDonald in a house robe, and Kevin McDonald's the guy with the high voice.
Yeah. The scrawny one. Yeah.
Sitting there, all despondent, and his hair's nuts, and he comes stumbling into the kitchen, dragging his slippered feet, and the kid's eating cereal, and he looks up at his dad and he goes, "Hey, Dad," and he goes, "Hey, son," and he goes, "What are you doing, Dad?" And he goes, "Gonna get out the milk. Gotta drink some milk." And he goes, "Milk's on the table, Dad." And he goes, "Oh, gotta get me some milk." And he walks over and he takes it and he goes and rubs his kid's head, and he goes, "You're a good boy," and messes the kid's hair up, and he goes, "Your mother's cheating on me." Cheating on me. And then he picks up the milk, goes, "Can't start the car without a whole lot of milk." And he walks out the door, and the end of the sketch is him pouring milk on the flowers outside. It's like the shortest and stupidest sketch you've ever seen.
Oh, man.
I just love that one so much.
That is a good one.
And then the other one is a sketch that they're all in called "Screw You, Taxpayer." And it's about how the Canadian government puts money into the Canadian military, and that's filtered down to the CBC, and then that money's filtered down to kids in the hole. But instead of weapons programs, we have comedy, and
That's so funny.
And the whole thing is about how we get paid. That's how we get paid the big bucks, big bucks, right? And Kevin McDonald is sitting in a high chair in the scene, and in a diaper. And when it cuts over to him every few seconds in this sketch, because Mark McKinney shows up to pick, and Scott Thompson's in drag as the mom, Dave Foley's the dad, and he says, "Hi, I'm here to pick your daughter up for a date. Sorry, I'm a little bit late. I had some rickshaw trouble." And it cuts over to Bruce McCullough, the fifth guy, who's hopping up and down on one leg, but he's dressed up like he's Chinese. He goes, "Don't blame me. I stubbed my toe," right? And then it cuts back over to them, and they all laugh, and then it cuts over to Kevin McDonald going, blah, 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 blah. He goes, "I'm sorry to tell you, our daughter's died, but you seem like a nice guy. You kids have fun." And they pass him an urn, and then Mark McKinney stops, and he looks out at the crowd, and he goes, "Wow, that sketch was really bad. And you know what? You paid for it." And he just starts talking about how, it's all of our tax dollars actually funds comedy.
That's so funny. I think, man, one of my favorites, other than the one I mentioned that I just was remembering, is I can't even remember who the main guy was, but he's dressed as like a farmer in a field, and it's like, when my grandfather was like young, he planted the first seeds of this farm, and those seeds spread to what this great field that you see today. We built a farm and a reputation on it. And it's shot like an ad for their farm. And then he's like, and then when I inherited this farm, I expanded our productivity, and we have been able to feed this many people. And he's like, and everything he's saying always starts with like a date. Like, and finally, in like 1992, I grew a tail. And he turns around and walks off screen, and there's a tail.
So
that's it.
There's a sequel to that.
Oh, is there?
Yeah, there's a sequel to that. It's where it's Scott Thompson is the dad, and it shows the shot of the farm, and I think you see the shot of Dave Foley with the tail, right? And then it cuts over to Scott Thompson, and it's got Mark McKinney going like this. And Scott Thompson goes, "What did you do, boy? What did you do?" And the camera cuts over, and there's the chicken lady that Mark McKinney plays.
Oh yeah, the chicken
Mark
lady.
McKinney is 6'2", and he dresses up as this chicken woman.
Yeah.
Right? And every time she shows up in a sketch, like in a dating situation or something, "Hey, do you want some eggs? I made them from my body." Like, it's so awkward.
It is.
That's her origin story, is that farm family, the youngest person from it, the son, the grandson, he had made love with a chicken, and they had chicken.
Oh, that's how Chicken Lady came to be. I didn't even catch that one. That's crazy.
I remember that one.
Oh man,
It's
what
so
about
funny.
you, Frank? What's your wait? Did you already say your favorite bit?
I said one of them, the pen one.
That's right.
The chicken lady is one of my favorite characters, and that's one of my favorite bits where you see how she was came to be.
There's the strip club one with this chicken lady. She keeps coming up on stage and assaulting the male dancers.
That's right.
And she's there drinking with her best friend, the bearded woman, and is played by Kevin McDonald. They don't give us any respect. Dressed in drag.
I love it.
They spend a lot of time in dresses, those guys.
Oh yeah, it's definitely like, it's funny. It's very influenced by Monty Python. It's super like revolutionary for the time. Yeah. it's interesting. It's its own brand of comedy. I don't know if there has been anything like Kids in the Hall since.
It's
I
pretty
will.
indicative of Canadian comedy, though.
Yeah. Oh, like the timing and the kind of
That
absurdist
that
humor and
that whole aesthetic. Like there was the
yeah.
Frantics, which Rick Green was in. Rick Green, who did Prisoners with Gravity, and then he did the Red Green Show with Steve Smith.
Nice.
Do you know the Red Green Show?
Oh yeah,
No.
where he makes all the crazy inventions and stuff.
Well,
and...
he's Adventures with Bill. That's Rick Green,
Oh, nice.
and then Steve Smith plays Red Green, right? But the whole thing about the Frantics is that they had an album called Boot to the Head, and it's where people go to this kung fu class because they all want enlightenment, and he's trying to teach them how to calm themselves. And so this one guy keeps interrupting, named Ed Gruberman, and he says, "You are disturbing the class like the pebble disturbs the stillness of the pond." Yeah, well, I came here to learn to kick ass, sir. And so he beats up his whole. So the sensei always ends up beating his whole class up. But they're the band that did 2 game show hosts meet on the street. Bill, have you been? I haven't seen you for 3 days and 4 beautiful nights. And then halfway through the same show, they'll do 2 dyslexic game show hosts meet on the street. And they do the whole bit again, but they scramble up all the words.
I love it. So you guys, we've been going for 2 hours, so I'm gonna
I'm gonna take off, I think.
Oh, no worries. All right.
Thanks for having me, guys. This is fun.
Thanks for hopping on. It was fun. All right. Well, Christopher, before you go, let everybody know where they can find your stuff, where they can follow your streams and all that stuff. Oh, Chris is tapping out, and we got somebody tapping in the ring. Boom.
I can't leave now. He's so pretty.
Yeah, you can't quit on Jim.
He's got a voice that's smooth like butter.
You can't quit, Jim.
That's right. Yeah.
Why can't I quit you, Jim?
Why isn't he saying anything?
I think I'd like Chris to stay on for another 3 to 4 hours.
Yeah, that's true. We need you 3 to 4 hours. That's all, sir.
That's all we ask, Chris.
Mm-hmm.
I'm ready.
3 to 4 hours.
I'm here.
I was almost going to go to bed, and then I heard you talking about my close personal friend, Dave Foley.
So cool.
Who I'll say best friend, probably.
Yeah, definitely besties.
Yeah. So if you want the Foles, you got to go through me. So
The full Foleys.
Fools.
yeah.
That is still
No,
really
actually-
cool that you were able to work with David Foley, though. That is cool.
I wanted
pretty rad.
to well, this will make Frank jealous. I wanted to boost my Canadian credibility,
Mhm.
and here we go. And I wanted to find a picture of me and Dave Foley.
Hell
So
yeah.
you did meet Dave Foley? Like,
Well,
yeah, he was in
yeah,
Revengeance.
He's in his movie. Yeah.
oh, okay.
Yeah, he
I
came
didn't know
over
that.
a mutual friend of ours named Ken Mora's house, and I spent the whole day with him, and we
Oh,
recorded
okay.
all his lines and hung out and had dinner with him at the house. And so it was he was literally nicer than you could ever even hope he would be.
Well, I hope he was nice.
And
I
then we
murdered
murdered.
him because I'm an American, and
Yeah.
we just can't help ourselves.
It's true. We do just
It's-
find ourselves murdering folks
It's
strangely.
it's in our blood.
Well, their blood's in our blood too. So.
Or their blood.
Dave
Hold on,
Foley
I'm
does
gonna
this
find
great
it.
bit on Kids in the Hall where he's an axe murderer.
Yeah.
And then halfway through the sketch, one of the other cast comes down the street and get your axe sharpened. Anybody need an axe or knife sharpened? And Dave Foley comes out and goes, "Hi, boy, great timing." He comes off so natural.
I like
love
his incompetent doctor bit where he's like, I cheated
There's Dave
through
Foley.
high school and
That guy's a sex bot.
Oh, there we go. Dave Foley right there. Yeah.
Well, that's one picture of him I have. I'll find another one. Hold on.
It's a really good one. Yeah, for sure.
I love his vest.
Hold on, I'm going back in time. By the way,
That's
does anybody
another
else
thing I
use
do on
Google
my
Photos?
stream regularly is that I drop in Fred Rogers lines all the time in my stream.
Sorry, what was that, Jim? I think we missed.
Oh,
what?
yeah, I said, does anybody else use Google Photos?
Oh,
Google
do you guys?
Photos? No.
Do you, Chris?
It's so good. It's so good. I know they have access to all your personal information or whatever, but it's so good because it automatically backs up every photo you take. So
Is it part of like the cloud or whatever? Or?
Yeah, but it's unlimited storage.
Oh, crazy! And does it cost some
Nothing.
Skrilla?
It's free, totally free.
That'd be dumb for me. I take a lot of stupid photos.
That's what I'm saying. Be careful. Hold on, I sense that I'm getting closer to Foley.
Closer to Foley.
Which is
I think you should show us a picture of foliage and be like, there it is. There it is.
Foley. Axel Foley?
Horse.
Is that who?
Bull.
Mick Foley?
Oh, here's another picture of Dave Foley. This was a good one.
Nice. Yeah, I remember that one. Yeah. Shared that before.
Hang on. I'm getting closer to Foley.
Is that a picture of my mom?
You know, Closer to Foley should be the next the biography of Jim Lujan, since there's
Closer to Foley is actually, isn't that an Indigo Girls song?
That's my documentary on finding Dave Foley and asking him to sign my Canadian autograph book. Closer to Foley.
By the way, there should never be another film ever starting with the words finding or saving.
Yeah. Unless, what if it was a movie called Saving Finding?
Yeah. Because
and it's a movie about Jim Lujan's ban of the word finding in movies, and we have to save it.
Yeah.
It's like, you guys,
this
Lujan guy banned the use of finding in a name.
That movie would probably make $11.
Saving the Foley.
Because they don't have a bank account.
Damn it, Dave Foley. Oh, here's Dave Foley. This is just another picture of him.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's a really good. Yeah. Let's do that one.
Here, hold that up. Hold that up, Jeff.
Hey, what's this all about? What's this all about?
Yeah. That's crazy. Was he just on? I swear that just sounded so much.
No, it was AI.
Oh, wow. It's amazing.
Or FI.
FI.
It was
I know, Chris. I know you. It's going to be worth it staying up. I know. This is. I have the picture right here, but I'm just pretending I don't because I want Chris to stay on.
He's like, "Hey, Christopher, I got your picture right here."
Damn you!
Pull up some Faulty Towers.
What's up? What about Faulty Towers?
Pull up a photo of Faulty Towers for me, Jim.
I don't.
Give me some Basil Fawlty.
These are my personal collection here.
Personal ones.
Personal. Where are you, Foley?
So yeah, it's an interesting program. This whole Google thing. I hear there's like no copyright to like any of that stuff too. Like I've heard I heard that from somebody who like printed my T-shirt design in China. Like I don't know.
Yeah.
I heard like they can it was on Google. So
if you're not gonna let the Chinese print illegally your own artwork, then you are pretty much racist.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm just saying.
I might be because I don't let them print it, but I force a lot of them in small rooms painting it.
Well, I'm not racist because I happily use this device that was built by a 7-year-old. So I'm inclusive, not
Speaking
racist.
of that, look at these shoes.
Oh wait, I feel
it.
the Foley. Hold on, I'm getting close. You know why? Because this is all in chronological order, and now I'm going back in time to when we were recording voices for Revengeance, and I
Nice.
feel like we're getting-
Revengeance, which is a movie by Bill Plimpton and Jim Lujan, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Some would even say Jim Lujan and Bill Plimpton.
Or Jim Lujan before Bill Plimpton, you know? Like
Sponsored
just
by-
Gold beer.
Good.
yes.
Oh.
Those old gold ads are great.
Hey, Jim,
Yes, sir.
send me that old gold beer picture. I need a new sponsor for the show.
Okay, hold on. I just passed it. Let me find
Well,
it.
you should do Coca-Cola then.
Oh yeah, I got that
Frank,
too.
Okay, fine. Send me a picture of that, Frank. I'll do that too.
I'll send
Oh,
both.
Jim has it. Jim did Coca-Cola for the thing.
Mm-hmm.
Here, I'm sending through the magic of this. I'm sending this to Christopher right now.
Which I need to make a label of that and put it on a soda and do a commercial.
I think just to keep the illusion of like some sort of supernatural force in the way you're sending it, I think you should just send it. You know, just think really hard and be like, I'm thinking of an image, Christopher. It's going to arrive on your machine.
Use your two thumbs, Jim.
I'm seeing an O with a D in it. An O. Is there an ard? Old gold beer.
I can smell it.
Okay, I think I sent it. I believe to your email. But let's move on. We want some foliage. You will not sleep well unless you get some genuine foliage.
This isn't taking long at all.
Foliage.
If this was a terrorist and he had a gun in my head, I would be dead right now.
Yeah, it's like, give us the pictures of the Foley.
Yeah.
How is everybody holding in there? And Christopher, you are not held hostage here. If you need to leave, dude.
No.
But I mean, I do think he's gonna have an image of
I
Mr.
know
Foley.
I know I'm going to because it happened. Damn it!
I'm
just did
for it.
It happened.
Is that
Sure,
you want to see the?
did.
Hey, wait, real quick. Do you want to see the character Dave Foley played in Revengeance?
Yes, I think you should share that.
Mom?
Oh, that's Dave Foley?
Yeah.
Oh.
This is my drawing of Bill Plimpton, did his version of this.
Oh, okay.
Google Photo. What did Corey say? Something about Google Photos. I saw that right now. And
It's
I
really
bet you it's
good.
not good. I bet you it's something bad. I knew it.
Yeah, he said Google Photos is free in the same way prison food is free.
And they serve it in tin cups.
Let's see
Corey,
here.
you hear that?
Is that Corey? He's gonna call you about.
He's gonna teleport.
How dare you? How dare you, sir, with your
Corey,
two thumbs?
I dare you to get on this stream with us right
I
now.
triple dare you,
I
Corey.
double dog dare you because I'm about to go on a pro AI rant.
That's right. Somebody's got to stop. Somebody has to represent against AI.
I don't understand what everybody's problem is. I love the computers.
Yeah, that's a good point. We're trying to bait Corey in. What can we do to bait Corey in here?
Well, I think we can all agree that.
I mean, I'm a fan of algorithms, guys. Like I've been thinking about algorithms a lot, and I've been thinking it's the best thing that's ever happened in marketing is algorithms.
I agree, Josh.
I don't think we have any right to question authority or what we're told to in the public eye.
No,
You know what?
No,
it's the most important thing in the
no,
world.
for sure.
When it comes to algorithm, I say all go rhythm. That's
Yeah,
what I say.
yeah. Let's all go rhythm. I love it. Well, I'm going to make T-shirts. They'll be available. We'll sell them. We'll talk. I know Corey Kerr is going to be completely on board with this. He's not going to.
That was a disco club in the 70s. Al Go Rhythm.
Al Go Rhythm. Yeah, that's good. I'm like.
Ironically, we could probably make the T-shirts with the AI. So
that's true. Yeah. Well, I mean, let's be fair here. Again, we're trying to bait Corey in here, so let's just be honest. We're still making it. You have to be brilliant enough to write the prompt. That's still art.
Unless you have AI write the prompt, but somebody
you guys, like my fingers hurt from hitting enter to make it generate these programs. I
think AI is the great equalizer that lets accountants be artists too.
Yeah. Who says they shouldn't be,
Yes, don't be elitists.
Yeah, Corey.
Yeah. All right. So
Elitist.
we're gonna call
All
this
right.
stream the Pro AI stream. That's gonna do excellently, among
This
other
should be in
artists.
the title for the episode.
Hey,
Pro AI Singalong with multiple guests. And on that note, good night, everybody.
Have a good night. Thank you, Christopher, for hanging in
Chris,
there.
oh,
I will tell you, you do need to check out later the Dave Foley picture because I'm sure he'll show it. So.
I will. It'll appear 3.5 hours into the podcast.
Oh wait, here's hold on. Here's damn it, hang on. Here's my other best friend, Matthew Modine.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
Is that okay?
A Joker.
That's one Matthew Modine. That
Oh no!
Oh,
I lost you for a second there. Sorry, that was my bad. I occasionally suck at StreamYard.
All right. Good night, guys. I gotta go.
Have a good night, Christopher.
All right.
Thanks for
Chris.
hanging
Good
out,
night,
man.
gentlemen.
thank you for trying. I failed you miserably.
Yeah, Jim. He was like, "I'm out of here." He ran.
Chris, can I call you like in 2 hours and say, here, I found it?
Yeah, it's a fair
He's
point.
gone.
You should like message him at like 4 a.m. Be like, "I finally got it."
This computer stuff sucks. Oh,
It
God
does,
damn
man.
it. The hell.
Boom! Right when Christopher leaves. Wait. Let's get this big.
It's like
There it
the
is.
snuffleupagus.
It really was. And the picture did exist, and he waited just for Christopher to leave before
Hold
he
on.
could show it.
It's going to talk. Dave's going to talk. He's going to say,
Hey, Christopher, you really suck because you left. You didn't believe Jim. You probably don't believe in unicorns either. And we're both laughing.
oh, good one, Dave.
Christopher, you got to believe, Christopher. And when you believe, your dreams won't leave.
oh man,
That's crazy,
You gotta,
too, 'cause,
you
like-
gotta clip that and tag Dave Foley and then post it on.
Here's where we kissed.
That's true.
Dave Foley kissed me.
Look at this intensity here. You know what's funny? I do kind of wonder, Jim, if he was like, "Sure, Dave Foley." There's video footage.
were you coming on to Dave in that video?
There's footage
Hey.
of us together.
Hey, Dave.
Chris, this is all for you. All for you, Damien.
I did it for you, Christopher.
I did it for you, Damien.
I love that. So, you guys, I'm going to disappear for 2 seconds and put on a trailer because it's been over 2 hours and I need to step out for a second. Does anybody want to keep chatting, or are you cool with me putting on the trailer?
You
Put
can
it
put
on.
on
I want to
Twitter.
see some Wordzoid.
I feel like it needs to be Wordzoid for sure because there's this guy who's joining this
Then
that
just
made this.
reenact it instead of.
That's a
playing
good
the trailer.
point. Do you want to reenact Wordzoid?
Dun, 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 dun.
Okay,
I'm
there it is.
sorry, that's the wrong answer.
Hi, my name is Phil Chandler. I'm a freelance artist.
Again.
It's just always going to be Philip Chandler. I keep clicking the wrong button. Okay, here.
Well, Peter, since I'm such a big music fan, I'm going to have to go with Karen Carpenter. Oh, Stu, I'm sorry. That's the incorrect answer. Trish, what you got for us?
I'm gonna go with Kim Gordon.
All right, let's check that answer. Kim Gordon. Do we have a Kim Gordon? Yes, and that means you're our new Wordzoid champion, Trish. Dale, tell Trish what she's won. Trish, you've won a copy of 2 stories, a memoir of faith and mental illness. Handwritten, hand-drawn, and handed to you by artist and writer Joshua Kemble. But wait, that's not all. You've also won a copy of Jacob's Apartment, the story of a doomed romance. What happens when you take Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind and put it in a blender with Ghost World? You get Jacob's Apartment, written and illustrated by Joshua Kemble. Trish, thank you for playing Wordzoid.
All right, great job, Trish. I was told I was gonna get a lifetime supply of paper towels.
That's a good bit.
Wait a
I
minute.
like it.
You're back.
Yeah, we're back. Back with a bang.
So,
Back
Corey
in
and I,
action.
What's up?
the other day, Corey and I, we were when we were working on this AI program that we were designing together.
Yeah, for sure.
told
Because
me-
Corey, like, he knows, like, if you guys have any questions on how to, like, improve your algorithm, like, talk to Corey. He's all about it.
remember, you can't spell Corey without AI.
That's right.
So,
Corey Currier. That's right. Yeah, so the other day I was kind of talking to Corey and he was telling me how much he likes the hegemony, like the corporate hegemony that exists in our country. He was like just talking about it and I was like, I don't know, Corey. You know, I don't know if that's did we get him? Oh my goodness. Oh no, the slander is being called out. Are we gonna get a cease and desist?
I will destroy you, Corey Kerr. I will break your soul. Eat it for my own pleasure.
Corey,
I have
we didn't like wake you up or anything, did we?
I have a red phone.
Yeah, I
behind
knew
me
it.
with one button, and it was just lighting up. I picked it up, and all of a sudden, I was on the stream. I don't know what's going on.
Corey basically arrives anytime somebody's talking positively about AI. He's like, ba ba ba, like the bat suit. There's like a freaking
Underdog.
pole he slides down, like
Underdog.
exactly.
Good stuff.
Oh man, that's
I don't have
beautiful.
any-
What
I
are you
don't have
working on,
anything-
Corey?
The new AI program, Core Cafe.
Ooh, let's share this. I'll put it.
I'm just working on a rooster laser that does lower thirds.
Do you guys realize if somebody was just listening to this in audio, they would think we were just beyond stoned? Like, it's like, and what are you working on, man? A rooster laser.
That's good stuff.
I think that would be a funny bit too, just like artists out of context. Like somebody's like scrolling through an artist's phone and they're like, why are there all these pictures of you flexing? You're like, I'm drawing a book about barbarians, you know, like it's just, I don't know. I think we'd all look like lunatics. Yeah. How do you like the new glasses, Frank? Are they treating you nice?
They are fantastic. I feel like a 70s porn star with this.
You gotta get the mustache back.
You lost the mustache. So.
Yeah.
I know. I gotta get back.
Are you guys familiar with Jacques Francis Cessoir? He's a great it's a really great French artist.
Okay.
Oh, look, here he is.
Hello, my name is Jacques Francois Cessoir. Many of the I like to paint the canvas with my soul as well as my how you say visuals.
Oh my gosh. Wow, that's amazing that you met Jacques Francois too. It's jeez. Jim. You are a hustler, sir. A hustler.
I just found a really old picture of us, but I won't post it because it's just old and
you're babies.
We're babies in it.
In diapers.
It's when we're at Kevin Cross's house in Portland.
Oh, nice. Yeah, that's years ago. You know what's funny is like, what was that? Like, that's like almost like a decade ago at least.
Oh, I think it was Sunday, August 9th, 2009. It's just off the top of my head.
You're like, I don't think about this obsessively at all, but I think you were wearing, it's like, you know, all the clothes and everything.
You were wearing an orange shirt and you also had a man bag. Just saying.
It's a fair point. I actually did have a man bag back then. I had the little hipster pouch.
Yeah.
For sure.
This is the oldest photo in existence of us together.
I don't remember that photo.
In this photo, it's Josh, myself, Mark Rudolph, and Kevin Cross.
Oh, you gotta show it. Gotta show it.
Okay. Here it comes. Here it comes. Drop that beat.
Badoosh.
Oh wow!
Nice.
Are you Photoshop, Jim?
Yes.
Yeah, Jim was just photoshopped in there.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Wouldn't that be
Jim
funny?
looks
All
like
of
he's
these
wearing an eye
pictures.
patch.
This is the first edition of New Direction.
The
Yeah, that's
original
true.
members.
That's from like a practice sesh. You know, we were just jamming, trying to get our vocals harmonized. That's awesome. Yeah, that was actually pretty fun. We used to do like podcasts back in the day, and like,
What's a podcast?
well, there's this era in time where you would go on a pod and cast.
Oh, okay.
Nice. Oh, this is like Badasses in a Graveyard, I
Is
believe.
Oh yeah. Is that Corey?
Yep.
Nice.
That's
Oh,
where
yeah.
we first discovered Corey's love for AI. You know, we just were like, I don't know, Corey. I didn't think you were into this stuff.
Does that hat say AI or bust?
So the other day I was in the
Paso
shower.
Robles is the birthplace of AI, actually.
Josh, zoom in.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
The other day,
let's do this.
I'm in the shower,
Mhm.
and I just felt like, what the heck? I feel like somebody's watching me, and all of a sudden,
You got crumbled.
"Lit you Kremlin."
So the best part is like you're not the only one. Everybody who's a guest on here right now, they're all like, "Yeah, I thought that was just me. Oh my gosh!"
They call that the hitchhiker effect. By the way, I want to show you speaking of embarrassing photos, look at this embarrassing photo.
Oh, I love this
You got a
embarrassing
full
photo.
screen that one too.
Oh,
Let's see here.
Look at
I saw that in a newsletter.
you go out with people in your town
Yeah,
and you try to say like, okay, let's make a good impression.
yeah.
And I'm not gonna say which one, but one of them took a dump in the middle. One of them's a peeping Tom, and one of them is very, very, very self-satisfied. So I'm not gonna.
Is that a giant carrot?
No,
It
he's
is.
just happy to see us.
Okay.
I love it.
This is
Oh,
like
man.
photo time, man. This is great.
That's hilarious. That was a funny day too, because I remember that's when like some guy walked up to Jim and was like, Jim Lujan, and he's like, I'll give you a giant deal for like a 10 movie deal with our movie production. And then he looked over and we were all posing doing the see no evil, hear no evil in those little squares. And the guy walked away and Jim was like, and we're like,
He did
sorry,
like
Jim. And he's like, oh.
he did like
That's-
a Kevin Hart in a 40-year-old version. He goes,
Yeah.
"Those your boy? Are those your boys?" Got lots of good pictures of us, man. Oh, here's one of our clam meetings.
Is this the equivalent of watching slides from your vacation?
Oh hell yeah! This is when we
like showing
were.
you guys baby photos.
Yeah. Yeah,
This
that's
is a clam meeting.
Oh wow!
Yeah, hell yeah.
And then Joshua.
Is that Ronnie Millsap?
Joshua murdered us all.
Yes, yeah, Lonnie's in there for sure.
And the lady?
And the lady. Oh, that's Chrissy. No. Oh my God.
Shin, Christy Shin.
Yes.
Yeah.
Shin.
Yeah, she does a comic called
And
my
that's
gosh,
Doug Bresler right here. That's Lonnie and that's Doug.
Yeah.
And back here is a guy named Mort that we didn't know.
Mort.
He's mortified.
Yeah, those were fun, man. Those were good meetups back in the day, for sure.
Look at us. Look at us making friends, and it's like the Last Supper almost.
Who betrayed you?
Yeah, that's a fair point. There's Caligula in there too,
Yeah.
and Mr. Dave
yeah.
Baker.
Yep.
I see
Yeah.
Dave.
Uh huh.
Yeah. Chris Calgua is one of the nicest human beings to walk this earth.
Yeah, Chris Calgua is good people. Like,
who's the worst?
Me. Me and Jim are pretty bad. If you put us in I've noticed this recently in chats on live streams. If you put Jim and I in a live stream chat that we're not on, we're really awful. We're out of control.
So bad. It's like, can you imagine if we would?
But you crack me up, and then I can't help but like continue.
If we would have gone to grade school together,
it would have been bad. Yeah. I think that
all of this photo stuff it's all really the fault of Dave Foley.
Yeah.
And damn it, Chris signed off right as I found him.
Yeah, that's hilarious, man.
That's sad. Hey Frank, by the way, I really do like your new glasses. Those are pretty cool. And did you have some that were like had colored glass in them or something like that the other day? Or was it just a reflection?
It's these, they're transition glasses.
What?
Are you transitioning?
No.
Look, we accept your glasses. We're very happy about your glasses.
This is an open space, Frank. You can.
Yeah.
All right. My glasses have decided they are sunglasses, and they're slowly transitioning into the.
Okay, so
all types of.
What are your glasses' preferred pronouns so that we can refer to your glasses properly?
The only type of glasses we don't want around here are spy glasses.
That's true.
We've got no room for those. But
from the Kremlin.
There you go.
That's true. That's true. Kremlin glasses.
I do like those. And what do they get dark or do they turn a color?
They get darker, so you can see they're darker now because I turn on the light that I have here.
Oh, that's so cool.
And I dropped my stamp. And
I can dig that.
You know what else turns dark when the lights turn on? Corey's heart.
Corey.
And speaking of Corey Hart, he keeps his sunglasses on at night.
That's right.
See how I did that?
Oh man, I wish I knew the guy. Who's the guy who's saying "Future's so bright I have to wear shades"? Because that would be the ultimate.
Timbuktu. Three.
Yeah.
Was it 3? Timbuktu, right?
Timbuktu 3 is so. That's a horrible name. That's horrible. You guys, I got the ultimate name for a band. You know Timbuktu? What about Timbuktu 3?
Timbuktu 3 is a great name for a really bad band.
Yeah. That's a good point. It's just descriptive.
You know, I was late tonight because I was at a Chumbawamba concert.
Yeah.
So tonight
I listen to deep cuts like but like the Wumba.
I didn't go tonight, but there's a concert at the Rose Bowl called Cruel World, and it features. It has a ton of like 80s artists like Susie and the Banshees.
Oh, crazy!
Who else? Adam Ant was supposed to be there. Like, there's like, I'm not kidding, like 50
Was she
bands.
squashed?
What's that, squash?
Was she squashed?
Oh. Why? I don't get it.
Because I put a hit on her.
And they shut the concert down early. Oh, Iggy Pop played there.
Nice.
In fact, they shut it down. I saw it on the news. They shut it down in the middle of his performance tonight because of inclement weather. And guess what? When I heard that news, we were driving home from Los Angeles, which is right next to Pasadena, and there's not a drop of rain or I don't know what they meant by inclement weather.
Was that a new band? And they're like, no, they're coming over. You guys can't be here. Inclement weather is gonna.
Inclement Weather is a band that is so good they can shut down Iggy Pop.
You guys, we got to take down this. Inclement weather's going to play here tomorrow. You don't want to be here when all the weather.
That sounds like an amazing show.
And they don't like all this riffraff. You got to leave. No, especially you.
Iggy Pop almost got kicked out of his own Rock Hall induction ceremony. I don't know if you've seen that footage. It's kind of amazing.
Why? What
he just pissed it. Like, it's funny. it's a kind of a stunning thing because I don't know how old Iggy is now, but he is like
200
on stage, like as Iggy does, but at like this rock where everybody's kind of like there's a lot of like corporate guys, and it's like people in suits and stuff like that, and he's just like tearing it up and like throwing stuff, and a couple. I don't know. It's worth watching.
He's 76. I thought you were going to say that they had a no shoes, no shirt, no service rule.
That would be hilarious at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. They're like, guys,
you
we're all about rock and roll, but really put on a shirt before you come into this induction ceremony.
Guys, is Stryper in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame yet?
I don't know. If not, I think we should start what would that be called? I'm sleepy, so I can't remember. What is that called when you ask people to sign a petition?
A petition.
There we go. We could head up a petition. Nice.
So I heard in Idaho they have a giant, like 120,000 people last year showed up at this giant festival called Stryper Fest, and the Yellow and Black Army showed up in droves, and it was really a rockin' night for Christ, and it was just. I think a lot of
souls were saved.
Jams were thrown down that night, and I'm just sad I couldn't go. So.
Yeah, to the Stryper reunion. Yeah,
did they break up?
I don't know. You gotta ask Corey.
Oh, well, apparently, as of I think I went to the I shared that picture with you guys. I went to that one concert, which wasn't too long ago, and they were coming to that venue. So yeah,
that's amazing. Okay, here's what we got to do. We got to go to Arizona.
Have Yellow and Black anymore.
We got to go to Arizona. You can go to a Stryper show.
Probably has already happened by now. I'm sure it's already happened by now. But.
What do you think? Next meetup of all the Artcasters folks. We go to a Stryper show. It has to happen.
I'll be there.
I want to see Stryper. Who would open though? Would it be Creed or Stryper?
That would be a good pairing.
Stryper, no striping.
All right, you guys. We gotta kill it on the talk on all the cool bands because people listening may not be hip to this stuff. They may not even know.
Hey, you guys, you can suck it.
Oh my gosh, Stryper took over the stream.
Guys, it's me, David Stryper. Hey, what about me, Keith Stryper? Shut up, Keith. You're always trying to hog my spotlight. Hey, man. It's not very Christian-like. Your hair's Christian-like. Ooh, okay, guys, that's enough.
Jim, I feel like you should do live streams where you just take a single image and just riff on it. I would watch it.
Some would say that's what my animation is.
Yes, that's a fair point.
That was self-defecating humor right there. So
nice. Defecating.
So
did you take a next for that?
So let's, on count of 3, let's all lift up our feet and show our police-issued ankle bracelets.
Okay.
Here's mine.
Yeah, I got mine here. It's like that. Yeah. Ow.
That hurt.
Yeah, it's hard to lift there.
Right here. There we go.
So yeah, you guys, we're all kind of stuck where we're at. But
I think Corey's is grafted to his face. So. Like Escape from New York.
I'm trying to edit a video and listen to you guys at the same time. It's
not a good idea.
It isn't a good idea.
There's gonna be like, video was really good, but why at the end is there like a Stryper segment?
Or like, oh my gosh, yeah, that's so good. Oh man. Yeah, like all of this audio just ends up over the next Corey Kerr like YouTube video. It's just like, you guys, here's a really healthy way to like find a comfortable stillness with your soul as you're making art. And I'm going to give you some suggestions for how to do. And then in the background is like Yeah, show your ankle monitor.
Okay, I'm gonna name 3 bands that got a raw deal, and none of these bands am I a fan of, so I'm not defending them, but I'm just saying as a observer, I can tell they got a raw deal. One of them is Winger, and I'm not saying their music. I'm not even defending their music. I'm just saying, like when they came out, there was so much hate for Winger when they came out. I don't know any of their songs, not even
I
their
don't
hits.
either.
No.
Yeah.
Who is
Another one
Winger?
I don't know who they are.
It's a
Deborah
funny
Winger?
name, though. I feel like the name kind of doomed them for getting treated badly.
Well, I know the singer's name is Kip Winger. I'm not kidding.
Johnny Winger, Kip Winger.
Yeah,
That's awful.
they're one band. Another band is what other band would get a raw deal? I don't know. Do you think Creed got a raw deal?
No.
No.
I feel like part of why people love hating Creed is that lead singer was so bad. Like they were like, if you watched like interviews with them or whatever, it's like it was one of those things of like a self-fulfilling prophecy kind of thing where they were kind of so full of smug.
Created his own prison.
Yeah, it's like it's almost like he cried out to God and felt like he couldn't listen, and he created his own prison.
Like it should have been him on a Sunday morning.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
No, that's stuck in my head.
We're doing like, instead of dueling banjos, we're doing dueling creeds.
That's a good point. So you guys, we've gotten to the Creed segment of the show. I don't know if you guys know this, but we're all big fans of Creed, and this is a live stream where we talk about our love of Creed.
Creed Stonegate. I love him too.
But I think we can all agree that the worst music is 90s punk.
Yeah.
Watch Corey. Look at
Mm-hmm.
him.
I think
terrible.
Yeah. 90s punk's awful. Yeah.
Awful.
You're off by a decade.
Oh, 2000.
There you go.
We got him, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm into the punk that most people don't consider punk.
You know what?
Like Backstreet Boys?
Yeah, the real hardcore stuff like 98 Degrees and Backstreet Boys. Yeah. That's Club 7,
What do I know? I liked Rancid, so.
I like Rancid, actually. I think Rancid's great.
They're really good.
Yeah. And I think it's funny, that album that pissed off all their like old school fans. I remember that came out, and I was in high school when Out Came the Wolves came out, and like a bunch of people who were like really into punk rock that I knew wore their Rancid shirts with like an X on it after that album came out. They were like, "Screw Rancid," and I just thought it was the dumbest thing, because first off, you bought their t-shirt, so like that's kind of weird to wear their t-shirt with a markered X on it. And then second off, it's not a bad album. Like, it's a pretty good album. And it was weird because they were mad that they went ska on that album, but like the Op Ivy was like before Rancid, and like, so I don't know. It was just a weird. That is one of those bands I don't understand the hate for. And then Life Won't Wait came out like after that, and that's, in my opinion, that's like their best album. So,
well, the only ska I'm down with is Ska Circlin. So.
Yeah, Ska Circlin would be a great
man.
Yeah, Scott, you should start a ska band called Ska Circlin. That would be amazing.
Is that the new channel reboot?
Maybe that's the video reboot. Like the next one, he's just like shit, chicken.
His YouTube channel comes on, and you just hear him go, "One step beyond."
He's like hit. Yeah.
I like. There's an Andy Samberg scene in that. What's that cop show? The comedy he was on.
I still haven't seen that one.
Brooklyn 9. It's really
Brooklyn
999. Yeah.
But there's one.
It has a lot of really great comedians on it.
He flashes back to his like high school, and he's dressed all in ska. And he's like, "This is not a phase; it's a lifestyle. This is I will be doing this 30 years from now." Like, and he starts like ranking.
I was around for the ska explosion, but I was never into it. I was
I dig some of it a lot. Like in fact, I remember we had Lonnie on Artcasters, and I think you were on it, and that was one I had to miss. And you and Scott and Corey were all like, I just don't know about the ska thing. And Lonnie was defending Scott. And I was like, why am I missing this episode? Because he's like, what about Toots and the Maytals? And I'm like, yes, what about them? Like,
I like Funboy 3. I think Funboy 3 was a great band.
I don't know what Funboy 3 is.
Yeah.
I don't.
What else? The Specials were pretty good.
Like, the Specials, yeah.
Some I like.
The two-tone stuff.
I don't like stuff.
Yeah.
As much as I love this topic, I'm
some of my best friends
listening.
I got friends who are ska. I'm not anti-ska.
Hey,
it's my neighbor. I'm just saying I don't want to live on the same street as people who listen to ska. That's all.
I'm just saying, you start with ska, and pretty soon you're going to be into, dub. I'm just saying. It's a gateway.
It's a slippery slope. I mean, the next thing you know, you might be going into like roots reggae. You're going to grow your hair out. Who knows?
Look, the neighbors moved down the street and they were ska. All right. Within a week, I'm seeing Vespas parked all up my block.
You guys, I'm telling you, everyone on my street used to dress normal. Within a week, pork pie hats, suspenders.
It's like a friggin' scavalanche.
Scavalanche. We should make a horror movie called Scavalanche. It was a normal city.
They're like, what's that? Shh, listen.
They're here.
Here in the bathroom.
And that, of course, you'd have to have a mirror in the bathroom on the trailer for it too.
Yeah. By the way, that's
a
one
great
of the
song.
all-time best songs ever.
Yeah,
that's a great song.
Yeah, I it's funny. Do you guys remember Grosse Point Blank? That movie.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of my favorite movies, and also one of my favorite soundtracks in general. Just the curation on that is excellent.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
What are some bands on that? Because I don't remember who's on that.
So that had Mirror in the Bathroom. It had oh my gosh, let me look it up because I'm blanking out. But let's see, Grosse Point Blank soundtrack. I'll read these tracks and you'll be like, oh my gosh, because every single thing is there. So there's the remix of I Can See Clearly Now, which is incredible. Johnny Nash. You got the Specials, Pressure Drop. You got Violent Femmes, Blister in the Sun. You got Armageddon Time by The Clash. You got Live and Let Die by Guns N' Roses. Absolute Beginners by The Jam. The Killing Moon by Echo and the Bunnymen. A Message to You, Rudy by The Specials. Monkey Gone to Heaven by the Pixies, and Ace of Spades by Motorhead. It's a great soundtrack.
I have on the Jerry Lewis telethon where you're like, I have a challenge to all of the electrical workers out there, blah blah. Well, I have a challenge. Gary Hodges, I know you're watching because I saw you in the chat. I challenge you to get online now. That's right, buddy.
Ladies and gentlemen, operators are standing by waiting for Gary Hodges to appear on our program and confront all of the accusations that have been made about him throughout this stream.
Jaja, what do we have on the tote board?
Let me look over here, and yes, I'm seeing a lot of totes.
And this is where Frank needs to sing "To Dream the
Impossible Dream." I don't know the rest.
I love it.
Impossible Star.
Oh, we lost Corey. Did Corey take himself out of stream, or?
He's like, I've had enough of this.
You just noticed
still backstage. I see him backstage.
Oh, I think he's backstage. Well, okay.
Is he making AI?
My favorite topic, where everybody just talks about music for 45 minutes.
Let's change topics.
Wait till Gary Hodges comes on here. We're going to be talking about Boy Scouts.
It's true. It's true. Boy Scouts and Boy Scout murders.
2 men. Boy Scouts, 2 men.
Has anybody actually done the body count of how many Boy Scouts Gary Hodges killed in his now infamous comic book?
I can't remember. Can you remember, Scott, how many Boy Scouts were lost to Gary Hodges?
It seemed like it was just so many. I stopped counting after a while.
It's more than 6. I know. It's got to be.
I feel like most of the book was just Boy Scouts getting murdered. I think that was the entire. In fact, now that I remember it, I think that occupied like the entire issue. From what I remember.
I think if you type
every page.
If you type in Boy Scouts getting murdered, I think the cover of Gary's comic book, and I know because I've typed that in many times.
Not, just because, you search for things, Have you guys ever had that happen where somebody says something, like, I've definitely had this happen at workplaces before where, like, somebody says the creepiest thing, but in that context where it's like, how you, like, doing what everybody does, like, Googling, killing 1 million Boy Scouts, like we all do, right?
Preface with the words, "I'm not a blank," that it's like, I'm not a cannibal, but
that's a good one, actually.
You could tell.
Yeah, exactly. Sorry, go ahead, Scott.
I was going to say you could tell Gary's priorities because on the back of the new one that says there's a warning for harmful to animals or animal harm, but there's never anything harm to children.
That's a good point.
It's not important.
It's a very fair point. There's no warnings of like warning people harm. It's like
it goes dinosaurs, scientists, soldiers, and way down here, Boy Scouts.
Yeah,
at the bottom of the poll.
To be honest, though, I mean, if you're reading a book, I mean, don't we all love seeing Boy Scouts getting killed? It's just like all of us, right? Right, guys?
That's my next zine.
I think if we all believe strong enough, if we really believe, I think Gary will appear.
I'm gonna
in my eyes.
If we clap,
I'm gonna try to believe that Gary can appear.
Choke a Boy Scout, then Gary will. By the way, that's the worst euphemism ever. By the way,
that is pretty awful.
You guys, hang on tight here. I gotta go choke a Boy Scout.
Come here, you.
I gotta go earn some. I'm trying to think of a way to tie in earning badges to that. There's got to be something.
Hold on, I gotta tie.
Hey, kid, you need to earn your community service badge.
I gotta get a pin.
I guess so on my badges.
Gary said, "I'm already in bed and I'm not coming on."
That's what he said to his girlfriend.
that's nice. That's actually one of the New Direction songs too. Is "I'm in bed and I'm not coming on."
Okay, Gary, I'm sure Gary wouldn't mind if you speak for him because
of course, we definitely should.
So, by the way, that reminds me. This is not Gary, but that reminds me and I think I did tell this joke to Gary. We would say this a lot. We'd say the nicest things about somebody, and then you end it with this. You go like, "Yeah, that Tommy he's a salt of the earth. I mean, type of guy that'll come to your home and change your tire in the middle of the night. Type of guy that, you're really feeling down. He's got your shoulder and he says, 'I got you, man. I understand.' Great guy. I mean, he's a Holocaust denier, but great guy. Salt of the earth."
Just always, I like that a lot. Like the hedge at the end where you just make them terrible, but salt of the earth, salt of the earth.
Salt of the earth, yeah.
Oh man, I still think it would be funny for us to do like a pretension stream or an insult stream where we have a guest, but we're just really pretentious the entire time.
That'll be the last time that guest comes on.
No. The guest would have to be in on it. I don't think any of us would want to.
So if I was a wrestler, my name would probably be the Derailer.
That's true.
But since I've derailed, I'm sure I derailed this stream, but
Jim, you're on my live stream. My live stream is derailment. That's the whole of my live stream. Do not worry.
You're like my live stream train runs on derail.
That's right. We're off the rails on this crazy train.
So has everybody had a productive weekend? I had a very productive weekend this weekend.
Yeah. I think so.
I'm working on mine being productive. Hopefully,
that's good. It's good. We just panned down, and Scott's conducting an autopsy.
Yeah, he's like, I don't know, I'll do okay, and he's like doing heart surgery.
Yeah. Nurse, scalpel.
That would be hilarious. Like a doctor's a live stream hangout like this, but it's all surgeons. They're like, "Hey guys, I'm starting my vlog." It's like you see blood just spraying. Oh, let me clamp that. Okay, anyhow,
hope she didn't need that.
Anyhow, yeah, surgeon live stream hangouts would be fun.
Do you remember on?
It's like, guys, super chat if you think that I should tie off this kid. Like,
if I get enough likes, I will cauterize this heart.
Oh, God.
Smash that like button, and I'll smash his heart.
The order gets smashed. That's terrible.
Oh man,
I'm sure we're making Gary have either very horrific nightmares or he can't sleep because
that's true. We're keeping Gary
the
away.
best pillow talk he's ever had.
That's right. We live rent free in Gary's head. That's all.
Yeah. So I don't know if you guys know this. I just sit in a room and I just stare. Sometimes the lights are off. I just stare all day long. And then when Josh gets on the stream, I wake up and I go, and I'm just like,
it's showtime.
Showtime. It's like, I'm powered up.
That would be the funniest thing in the world if that actually was like, if there was someone, I don't know, would anyone do that in reality?
I do that all the time.
Frank.
You think I am some kind of Mars bot?
Oh,
you brought it back around.
I still do like the idea of the dinosaurs versus Mars bot. Like, how happy would everybody be if like the next issue after the one that's released is like a drama about the picked on high school student carnivore that's growing in his teeth?
Well, I didn't want to tell you this, but Gary told me the title of his next book.
Mm-hmm.
Picked on carnivore?
Dinosaurs versus ska bots.
Ska bots.
So
we gotta stop this sky invasion.
Yeah.
It's like the horror parts are just like, you just hear this very faint horn. They're like, is that a trumpet?
Each chapter is like a call on a band. Like the first chapter is called "This Is Madness." You know.
I like it.
What other ska bands? I can't riff.
Well, you got Desmond Decker. You got
Was Desmond Decker ska?
Yeah, you got the Scotalites.
He sang "Ooh, the Israelites." That one, right?
Yeah, that
Which
is a ska song.
That Charlie Rossman, the guy who does voices for me, turned me on to that song. Actually,
yeah,
love that song.
The way it's sung too, I can't mimic it, but it's like that. Yeah. Oh, but it's so good. Yeah, exactly. It's that high pitch. But the Israelites are ska, like like that era of ska. That's my favorite stuff. Back when ska was good.
I already used the ska circling joke. Hold on, I have a list here. I'm okay. I use the Holocaust denier joke. Check. Aorta joke. Check. Guys, I'm running out now.
It's a list. Let's see. Did you get to the inappropriate joke?
It is the umbrella for all of these. I just wanted, before we collapse for the evening, I did want to tell you. Oh, this is good because my trusty new computer finally is very low on battery, so this will make me go to bed.
I love it. And by the way, your lighting looks awesome.
Is it really?
Yeah.
This is a theme.
Are you in your car?
Yeah. It's a mobile home, so. No, I have the first first 5 fully done, fully edited and done minutes of the full fungus. Done.
The first 5? That's pretty
First
good,
full
man.
5 minutes and something seconds done. Like
Nice.
edited with sound effects, everything. The only thing I haven't put on the final track is music, but I have the music that goes with it. But I'm waiting till the end in case I decide to change the music. But yeah, it's done, and I'm really happy with the opening first scenes. It's really
That's
good.
a huge step. Also, like I listened to your stream with Deacon Burns, and that was like super awesome. Like, really
he's
fun.
Great, man. He's great.
Yeah, I need to actually deep dive further into his music because it's really intriguing.
Yeah, Counterclockwise is that's one of their songs right there.
Yeah. It sounds like the powering on sound.
That's what it's called. The song's called Windows. It's a very conceptual piece. No, he's Counterclockwise is very experimental in their music and their production and stuff. They really are kind of like Outkast a little bit, like the early stuff. And then Deacon made a whole solo album that's all alternative on guitar. Yeah, so it's like an alternative album. So I don't know if he already released it or he's going to be releasing that. But so he's just really, really cool.
Yeah. Like very eclectic, but
cool. Josh, you'll like this. I've done 2 more jazz pieces that are ridiculously good. I want to get. I hope you release these jazz pieces when it's done, because that 100% I will. I will.
Yeah.
The crazy thing is, I think I'm starting to get good at it, because I listened to it and I'm like, it actually sounds like, and I'm not a big jazz guy, but it sounds like jazz. It's like, oh, it sounds actually kind of like, a little bit Miles,
Yeah, that's badass.
So
if you play it for a jazz aficionado, they'll be like, no, Jim.
So it's like slightly less interesting elevator music. That's what you've achieved. Is that?
Yeah.
Hey, Miles Davis is way beyond elevator music, dude.
They're gonna listen to my jazz and they're gonna go, listen to this chord right here. That is not even a human chord.
Yeah.
This guy is so talented. These chords do not even go in any order.
Yeah.
And this guy just everything's intentional.
He basically takes the structure of things and just explodes them intentionally.
Yeah. He's deconstructing as he's constructing.
Construction could be a fun name for a garage band. Or a children's show where you can construction.
Let's see who can think of the best conjunction junction replacement song.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see.
Deconstruction, that's your function.
Erectile dysfunction.
Where's your function?
You can't do your function. I tried real hard, but I couldn't.
That was erectile dysfunction.
We apologize for playing that on Saturday morning cartoons.
The executive involved in greenlighting that ad has been let go, and we will continue with our children's program.
Now back to Menudo.
Oh man,
I didn't know this. This is really weird. Did you know that Menudo? I always thought it was Menudo, like named after the food. It was actually started in San Francisco in the late 70s. It was actually a gay boy band. It was called the Men You Do.
You gotta be kidding.
No, it was the Men You Do. And
really?
I always thought it was named after Menudo, like the food. Like,
yeah.
Johnny, they fooled them all. That's completely lying.
I feel like we should come up with like a competitor band, like the sequel to Menudo, and just call it Tripe. Tripe. What's up? We're the hardcore part of Menudo. We're the crap they wouldn't put in our Menudo.
I was riffing that once, like, oh, what if I do a menudo cover band and call it pozole?
Actually, prefer pozole to menudo.
It's menudo light.
Corey, what is your opinion on that? Pozole or menudo?
I don't know that I've actually eaten any of those. So,
But the bands,
yep.
I just like the short. Yep. Look at that. Oh man!
Pretty
You
certain
know
of
who
that
has tried pozole and menudo?
I've tried them both.
To Gary Hodges.
Mm.
He's very proficient in Mexican food, I found.
I just call it food,
Yeah.
as you do, Jim.
Yeah.
Yeah, why's the food got to be Mexican, Jim? What's going
Yeah, I don't see colors or food coloring.
I didn't see food coloring in anything.
It just is.
Oh, okay. Here's the bit. Like the guy is doing that, and you think it's like this person who's like being very like overly cautious around everyone they're talking to, and then at the end, it just turns out they're actually colorblind. Like they literally can't see color. They're like, when I look at people, man, I just don't see color. Okay, that's just how I am. And it's like, okay, sure. And it's like, no, seriously. And then at the end, actually, I'm just colorblind.
Isn't the absence of color white?
It depends on whether you're doing additive or subtractive color mixing.
Always subtractive. Always subtractive, Corey. You know this. How many times have we talked about this?
If you add all the colors together of light, then you get white. If you add all of the colors together of pigment, then you get black, and vice versa.
Are you sure you're not talking about Star Wars?
Yes.
That sounds a little bit.
When you add all the colors together of lightsabers, you get purple. That's how that works. So slightly different color mixing mode.
And ironically, it does look like a lightsabers.
Yeah. A lightsaber.
At my school,
as a kid, I used to confuse that.
At my school, guys would say lightsabers. Yeah, this guy, and he came over there with his lifesaver. They also, I don't know if you guys remember this, but as a kid, and I was guilty of this, the show I Dream of Jeannie, we would refer to Barbara Eden as I Dream of Jeannie. You know, like, yeah, and then that Major came home and I Dream of Jeannie was there. She's like,
I used to carry fingernail clippers in my pocket because I thought in my 5-year-old mind that they looked exactly like the Next Generation Star Trek phasers.
Oh, nice.
Because they went from the handheld gun looking thing to something that's a really sleek.
No, that kind of has it has a similar shape.
Yeah. Anyway.
Oh, fingernail clippers. I thought fingernail clippings. I was like, I don't.
Yeah, I had a jar full of fingernail clippings.
No,
that's a small one.
That's that moment where it's like, everybody carries their
risk losing it.
I was like, okay.
I just had a little baggie full of fingernail clippings.
Doesn't everybody carry their fingernail clippings in a bag in their pocket?
You know, your friends
when you were a kid
as well.
Your mom would send you to school with a bag of fingernails and a box of entrails. Remember?
Well, I still got mine right here.
What was that bag?
It was hot glue sticks. Hot glue sticks.
Oh, glue sticks.
Hot ones.
You have glow sticks?
Let's see. What is the closest bag?
I have glow in the dark hot glue sticks right here.
Yeah, this is the closest bag I have to me right now.
Nice. What is that, Corey?
Where is it?
And what's
all of the gray and black Legos that I could find? Sorry. These are all of the gray and black Legos I could find in my son's Lego table because I'm looking for a part that I lost.
Corey, did you buy the Evanescence Lego kit?
Yes. It's called Lithium. It's really good.
And now with even more goth colors.
Too good.
The little kids are playing, and all their hair's all emo. They're building. Look, I've built a Stonehenge. Sadness.
Oh man. Well, you guys, it's at the 3-hour mark. I've gotten as much done as I think I'm going to tonight. Is there anything like anything anybody wants to plug before we kind of start wrapping it up? Obviously, let's make the rounds, I guess.
Okay, I'd like to start this with I'd publicly call for the end of the Ukrainian-Russian war immediately and irrevocably, and also
exponentially
and artificially
and presidentially
and residentially. And the second thing I want you to do is check out Full Fungus in production.
Yes, I love it. And you guys should be following Jim Lujan too on YouTube. He does an amazing show called Hey Man, how's your movie going? Sorry, what was that, Frank?
I follow him home.
Oh, nice. Okay. Speaking of following home, Frank, where can everybody check out your stuff?
My house.
Your house?
It's right here. You can check out Sarasat Art Nation on YouTube, and I have a new channel that's a little bit more game focused called Roll for Turaco, and I focus on RPG stuff, games with dice, cards, things like that. So check it out.
Awesome.
Isn't RPG a rocket?
Yes.
He does focus on rockets. He makes rockets on his live stream.
You're part of the war, Frank.
All right. Let's see. Corey, where can everybody find your stuff and your non-AI supporting stuff? We were kind of riffing about Corey earlier, but that was all just to anyone who might be mildly overly literal out there. Obviously, Corey is the polar opposite of what we were talking about.
It was really just you guys are laying the foundation for my pitch for NFTs that I'm about to launch.
Yep, exactly. We were trying to grease the wheels to get the NFTs through.
Yeah, I've got a trustless coin that I've been working on in my basement. That's kind of the big reveal here. And I think everybody should buy in. So if you just give your banking details, just get onto coreykerr.com/email and just input your routing number and your account number.
By the way, Corey, I figured it out. You were sent from the future to stop AI.
Yeah,
and you're really the Kerminator.
Yeah, nice.
I'm starting my own cryptocurrency. I'm doing Turaco coins.
Your cryptocurrency?
Currency. My current cryptocurrency.
I hate to say that, but Corey already trademarked currency.
Currency.
Yeah, that's his crypto.
My current.
I have it tattooed backwards across my chest, so it reminds me of my goals in the morning.
So if you guys want to check out Corey Kerr, you should check out coreykerr.com. Make sure you're subscribed to his channel. He has really awesome designs that are on mugs and t-shirts and are really cool, and quite often some of them really, really interpretive and like where they're just cool designs that you can kind of read your own meaning into, and some of them are very like clear messages, but they're all designed really awesome in a way that you'll want to wear or drink from
Corey,
a mug on.
You have a picture of the new mug that you're coming out with, because that's the one I want to buy.
Oh, the one with the cameras?
Yes, I think that's it. Can you show?
Hold on, let me share it.
While he's
share your mug.
I want to remind people while he's looking for it. Remember when Corey was a kid and he was on that sitcom and he had his catchphrase, and like he'd drop something and he'd look at the camera and go, "It's a catastrophe."
And the same sitcom as the kid gets older, and he
is that working?
That's
the one. That's the one.
Okay.
When I want.
So when he starts going to college, his professor's like, "Did it occur to you?"
I've told you guys about the Dodge Caravan that I had to drive around with.
That just made me like your family more. Yeah.
My mom was one of the coolest people and one of the most embarrassing people on the face of the planet at the same time. Yeah, this is one that it's available now. You can get it as mugs or t-shirts or hoodies or whatever.
Nice.
But this is one that I'm not saying why I initially set out to do it. So there's a couple.
I think it's Bohemian Grove, right?
Yep, that's what it is.
It's your.
It's whatever you say it is, Jim. You get to decide. You specifically.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just you, Jim. No one else.
Yeah,
I like it. Cool. Scott, obviously everybody knows Scott who's done this channel. Everybody knows everybody on here if they're subscribed to this channel. But still, Scott, in case somebody's watching and they don't already know where to find your stuff, where can they find your stuff?
You can find my stuff at circworks.com. And I don't know, I'm a little tired, so I'm not going to go through any pitches or anything. You can go there and figure that out for yourself. Just click on the first thing you see.
Let me see if I can do it.
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
Okay.
Okay, here we go.
Yeah. I'm tired too. I was going to do it because I've heard it like 100 times.
Yeah, we're all kind of. That's why I was like,
only
we got to call it because it's.
We should just pitch each other's stuff. No, Young and the Dead. Youth versus zombies in a kind of an 80s vibe. If you like Stranger Things,
Goonies meets Night of the Living Dead,
and it's Goonies meets Night of the Living Dead. That's what I was searching for. But yeah,
me too.
But I was going to say, if you like Stranger Things, though I came up with it before Stranger Things, but it's coming out before and after Stranger Things, then you can check those out at youngandthedead.com. I don't know if that's a real website, but
hey, I'm Scott Circlin. Go check out my stuff already. You don't like it? You can go log into www.suckit.com.
I always thought that part of the pitch was always a little awkward.
That is kind of great. It would be funny to just pitch it like that, where it's like, "Hey, you're gonna like my stuff, and if you don't, go to www. Go f yourself." Okay,
like kids, you like zombies? All right, already buy it already, and shut up.
All right, guys. Anyhow, to everybody out there who's watched this far, thank you. I appreciate you guys. Everybody who's in the chats, it's awesome. I love our community. And I love this group of people who joined. Thanks, Christopher Runsman, who joined earlier. You guys should be following him on YouTube and watching his one-page comic extravaganzas that he's actually making every single day, pretty much, which is kind of insane to think a page a day. And that'll do it for the live. Make sure you buy Jacob's Apartment or 2 Stories, and hit subscribe, hit the bell, hit like if you've gotten this far. You should definitely be able to hit that like button. And with that, I will see you guys on the next stream.
Before you sign off, I want you to say, I love our community so much, but say it like Drew Barrymore.
I don't know how Drew Barrymore talks.
So much.
You guys, this community. I mean, I can just do like a kind of, you guys kind of thing.
What does that sound like? That sounds like something specific.
You guys, this community is amazing.
It sounds like no, I know who it is. You guys will enjoy this. It sounds like I'm forgetting his name, but the Fly on the 80s version of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Baxter Stockman.
Yes, Baxter Stockman.
Thank you, Frank. Exactly the deep well of TMNT knowledge. Oh, and then we should also give a shout out to Mr. Hodges, who, was just too cool for school and had to go to sleep.
Who did this?
Who did Dinosaurs versus Marsbots, which is really cool.
Book.
But he has recently released the latest issue of DVSM, and you guys should check that out on his Etsy and also subscribe to his YouTube and all that.
There you go. And then this Tuesday, he's going to be on the lovely Chris Runciman's great live stream. So check that out.
Awesome. All right, guys. Have a good night.
There you go.
Oh.
And I have a feeling something bad's going to happen to Corey in that magazine.
I do very well in this magazine.